Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
Then that's it. Yeah, the Secret Championship.
What's happening, people? What's going on? What's happening? Y'all know what it is. It is Tuesday night, so it is time for Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo and
Ask a Cop.
yeah, he is on time tonight. Even though he's running a little late, but he is on time tonight. Boy, he's showing out for our special guest. That's what's happening up there. This dude ain't been on time in 14 months. Now all of a sudden, he get to invite his guest up in here. Now he all on time. And everything. So
How could
listen,
you show up and I wasn't
part of
here?
this conversation. 404-500-1605. Make sure you hit those buttons because we need that
algorithm
to go up for us. We need our stuff to stay up and top in everybody's view. You know what I'm saying? Tonight is gonna be special, man. We got some special people in the house tonight. We got another special person gonna be calling in on a video link. You know what? We just gonna go on over to my man, and then we'll get on into what we usually do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got the infamous Pastor Troy up in there.
What's happening, man? Honored to be here, man. I appreciate y'all boys in the platform, man.
Hey, man, we are glad to have you.
You know,
here,
Ask a
brother.
Cop. All Ask a Cop had to do was ask me, and I'm in the building, man. That's it.
That's great, man. Hey,
Absolutely.
listen, we was talking earlier before we got started. You was talking about the things you're going to be doing down in South Georgia. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, can't wait.
Because I think that's something that people need to hear.
Yeah.
And everything. But yeah, man, tonight we're going to get into the hip hop thing, you know, and hip hop and the community and all of that type stuff. But before we do that, we're going to do what we usually do. We're going to go down the line and ask everybody how their week was.
Yeah.
So, going to start off with my boy here, Angelo, my guy.
What's good,
How was your
brother?
week, man?
Everything was good, man. You know, this was it was a different time in the house. You know, everybody knows the show, knows me, knows my son was, you know, moved to start his venture at West Point. You know, and I told y'all gonna see so much West Point gear on me, you're gonna think I'm going to West Point. But you know, yesterday marked the 1 week. You know what I mean? 1 week since it's been gone, man. You know what I mean? So I told you, there's no communication for the first 3 weeks. So, you know, everybody asks how you doing. I'm actually good. You know, my wife, I can't say the same, but you know what I mean? But I'm good because I know he's where he wants to be. He's accepted this challenge, and I'm extremely happy for him. I decided, you know, I bought him at Kia, so in his honor, I'm driving his car to save on gas in my vehicle. His gas required 87. You know what I'm saying? Mine required 93.
Hey, man, at you, boy. Not mad at you at all, man. But now, wait. So now you're down to one. Didn't you drop another one off at
Now, he
college?
leaves for UGA in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. All right.
He leaves in 2 weeks. Yeah, so yeah, then be down to one. Then there'll be one.
What you got going at University of Georgia? He play sports or
No,
just a
he got an
student?
academic scholarship.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I love it. I got a daughter. She's a senior this year, man. But Georgia Tech in the mailbox every day.
That's right.
Good thing. I love it, boy. I love it. The biggest Georgia Bulldog in the world.
Wow.
But let Georgia Tech give her a full ride. I'm gonna be down there yelling jacket, yellow and blue all day.
You got somebody across
Oh,
you
yeah,
that agrees with you.
Yeah, he's one of the few yellow jackets running around here.
Right?
That's what's up, man.
He agrees with you.
Not many of us, but
Well, he agrees on the Georgia Tech part.
That's right.
He takes
That's right.
Georgia.
Yeah. That's dope.
Ask a car, brother. How was your week, man?
excellent. Just I got a lot of work done. Had a litter. The whole litter was sold before it hit the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's good to go and just chilling, fishing, as usual.
That was important for it to stall your truck, so, you know.
So that's that. That's that.
I was
retired
asked
life.
about the DR and what goes on there, so I can't mention that on the show no more.
That's that
Dominican
retired
Republic?
life.
That's right.
Yeah. Chilling, fishing.
Serious.
Every week.
Serious.
Chilling, fishing. No,
That's that retired life, baby.
That retired life.
I'm not
like
mad
it.
at you. Not mad at you. Pastor Troy, how was your week, brother?
Man, my week been good, man. My last week was, I can't complain. It wasn't different, so it was all right.
No surprises.
Yeah, man, that's how I can take that, man. That's what's up. I'm all good.
All right, and now we got Becky on the show, man. It's become a resident, you know what I'm saying? You know, just walks up.
Yes, special guest star. I get, second billing, but it's right at the end of the thing. Yeah, I get it.
You're going to keep it up. We're going to have to say, and ask a cop, and the white black guy.
We'll come up with our own segment. Okay?
Black white guy.
All right?
Yo, woke white guy.
That's right.
How was your week, man?
My daughter got, my little Trisket, got her driver's license. So she turned 16, so that's a good, she was nervous, but she's a woman now, officially, she got a driver's license. So, and other than that, just...
She got a license or her
got a
learning
driver's
permit?
license.
She got a full license.
Yeah, got a driver's license.
I'm dealing with that with my boy right now, man. He's right at 16, whatever. They have to wait a year now after
That's
they
right.
get their permit.
You have to get it and then wait
a year. Yeah, man. So he's right at getting his license time.
So here's the tip.
Yeah.
When you go take the driver's test, they will let you do a virtual test with nobody sitting in the car. They'll put a camera on the dash, and it'll film the driver's face, and it'll film the road, so they can watch the driver, see if they're turning, and watch the road. But what they can't see is if you sit in the front seat with your hand on your leg and give simple. We had a set of signals just in case she got nervous.
Yeah.
And we had our little hand signals, and they can't see the camera, so you can see her glance down occasionally at me.
Yeah.
They think she's looking in the mirror.
Really?
But you can give them little signals, and it'll, turn this way, turn that way, slow down, speed up, all that little stuff.
Yeah.
Get you right through.
That's good.
So
That's
keep
good.
that in
That's
mind.
good. That's good. Where did you take the test?
We did ours in Noonan. She's in Gwinnett, but we did ours in Noonan just because ain't nobody down there, and they don't take you. They barely take you on the road.
Yeah.
So like it ain't nothing like when we took the test. We were like out on the, I took mine in Forest Park. We hit the interstate.
Yeah, the trip.
So there's your tip. When you have to go, sit in the passenger seat and give your little hand signals. And
that's
get through
good.
it just
All right,
right.
that's good. That's good.
See,
Congrats.
This is one of those times where you really should listen to what the white man said. See, we out here trying not to cheat, trying to do right and everything. But sometimes you got to find the right way to cheat.
Get the leverage. Use the
They
system.
say if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Hey, man.
What about you, T? How's your week, brother?
Hey, man, I'm still unpacking. I'm still unpacking, brother.
They're moving a beat.
Yeah, they're moving. I've recognized there's a lot of things that I don't need anymore. I tried a suit on the other day, and let's just say I didn't get my left arm in it. It stopped halfway. I couldn't put the jacket on, so I got a couple of things I got to get rid of. So there's going to be some pretty nicely dressed homeless people out there real soon because I'm not going to Goodwill and none of that. I'm gonna go down to the parks and I'm just gonna,
It's probably one of them Steve Harvey double-breasted things from back in the day.
with the 5 buttons.
Who's right?
With the 5 buttons.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 buttons with the double splits in the back. Boy, I'm telling you. And
You're giving up the shoes, too.
And that last button at the bottom.
velvets.
You remember when they had that last button at the bottom to keep the coat closed? Yeah, I got to get rid of them. Got to get rid of them. Running out of space in the house. But other than that, man, it was pretty cool week. Didn't do too much. Hung out a little bit this past weekend. Get the wife out the house. She's still stressing more than me, of course. Trying to teach her to leave that stress part alone, but she's gonna get it sooner or later. She's gonna get it real soon. So listen, people. 404-500-1605. Like I said, tonight we got Pastor Troy in the building. My man Zaytoven Beats. He couldn't make it. He actually got a pretty important phone call that we couldn't compete with. We dare compete with that phone call. But he is going to try and video link in when he can. And basically what we're going to talk about tonight, man, all of us pretty much grew up on hip-hop. And most of us up here grew up on the older school hip-hop.
Yeah. Foundation.
And there's whenever these gentlemen are out, young ladies are out that's in hip-hop, there's always a microphone in their face, there's always a camera going. So, there's a lot of people that want to blame hip-hop for a lot of things that's happened in our culture. I'm not one of them, but, some people also think that the hip-hop community should be more forward, progressing in regards to using the microphone, using their voice. Say like some of the NBA players are doing it. They're kind of saying the same thing about some of the hip hop community. So this is why, we had Pastor Troy come in, one of the pioneers, and just wanted to rap to him about it because he can tell us things from the inside of it, from the other side. Because I'm sure there's a lot of things that go on that we have no idea.
Can't wait to expound on it. You feel me? Can't wait to expound on it.
So we'll start off with us right now, us regular folk.
It's all good.
Us people that sing the ones that sing your song. After you've already sung it, what's your opinion? Do you think that hip hop? Do you think it's their duty to actually lead and be the leaders of the community?
From my perspective, people especially, listen, and it goes for any black artist, whether it's movies, whether you're in entertainment, whether you're in music, whether you're in sports, because make no mistake about it, that's still entertainment, is y'all are in a position that we don't ask other people to be in. We ask whether somebody makes a difference in the black community, but nobody asks, nobody asked Vanilla Ice if he made a difference in the white community. Nobody asked Jackie Chan, is he making enough effort in an Asian community?
Interesting.
So it's something that we don't ask of any other group. So it's interesting that it's asked of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I guess the next question is who's asking? Is it the mainstream? Or is it y'all asking amongst yourselves?
Mm-hmm. Amongst ourselves.
And the next question is, a lot of people, especially like we grew up on hip hop, and artists that make it big in hip hop don't usually make it when they're 40. They make it when they're young. Yeah. And when you're young, do you recognize, when you were young, you were first coming up, did you recognize the power that you had on people? Like, it's one thing to hear, like, it's got to be breathtaking to hear people say some stuff that you said and something that you wrote that meant something to you.
Live by it.
Right, and they're giving it right back to you.
Yeah.
Do you really at that age recognize the power and influence that you have? Because I feel like you probably don't, because we were all knuckleheaded kids. We didn't know what kind of,
Yeah.
But if we did, would we do things differently if we knew everybody was listening? You know what I'm saying? Like,
my first album, man, that was a good question, man. My first album I dropped when I was 20 years old. I didn't have a fan. Nobody knew who I was. I didn't have any obligation or responsibility. So the things that I said on my first album, man, I'm talking about, man, we talking about the police officers killing people in Augusta, man. I'm talking about just straight to the point about it, man. Hey, man, they killed this black dude down here in Augusta, man. It's fucked up down here in Augusta, man. How not reckless I was, but like I said, I didn't have a fan base. I didn't know who was listening. So that first album was so easy for me, man. Here I am 20 years later. It would be hard for me to say some of the things that I said on that first album with kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? With a lady to take care of. You know what I mean? It's just so different. So one thing about me, man, being Pastor Troy, that was always a thing, man. They looked at me for a word. And I'm so happy that my fan base grew with me. You feel me, man? So these same kids that I came out with when I was 20 years old, they're 40 with me as well. So they're not expecting that same message from me. You feel me, man? They're expecting me to be able to tell them something else. And I'm glad I've been able to, take that challenge. Yeah, that suffice. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just a question, where do you stand on the thing we hear often when we talk about certain groups, and that's, again, we're of a certain age, so like coming up, it was NWA.
Yeah.
And they said our art is a reflection of the things that we see.
Yeah.
So as an artist, there's a fine line, I would assume, between showing a reflection of the things that I've been through and speaking responsibly about it. And by speaking responsibly, really what you're saying is being politically correct or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you draw that line between I need to reflect what I'm going through and I need to understand that some of the people that hear this may not see it the same way?
Yeah. You know what? I think that you have to really approach every at-bat with the understanding what pitcher you facing. You feel me, man? I play baseball, so that's how I can kind of look at it, man. You know what I mean? You got to approach it like who's on the mound. You feel me, man? If I know he throwing a knuckleball, I ain't going up here expecting fastballs. Right. So you got to come up here and kind of just break it down to who you're talking to, man. Like, I've been blessed to be in a lot of different rooms with a lot of different people expounding on these same questions and talking to a 20-year-old about the problems and stuff that we facing, and talking to a 40-year-old is a totally different approach. You know what I mean? I'm listening to them down everything, blaming everything on the rap. It's the rap, it's the rap, it's the rap. At 40, but at 20, we was those same kids pushing at the bounce and doing this thing.
I look at it different, man, because I know you. So I'm not. Let me speak.
Go ahead, speak.
Okay, now I know your brother.
Yes, sir.
And you came from good cloth,
man.
I'm saying? So I call bullshit on that, because where I see, and I do think rap has a negative influence, is because when you guys came up, if you look at 2 Live Crew, Public Enemy, and 2 Live Crew, although it was all about joking and fun, it was in jest. Yeah. And when you look at Public Enemy, they talked about the rawness, but it wasn't glorifying. Mm-hmm. And even when y'all might talk about smoking or doing whatever the violence, but it was true. You were talking about what was happening. Yeah. Police in Augusta were doing some foul shit. So it's not that you were stepping out of body and saying something wrong. The issue I have is young black males today, and everybody. I have police officers, my last couple years in, where they would literally be sitting by each other, and then rather than tapping them on the shoulder and say, "Lo, what you gonna do?" they'd send a text message to each other. They communicate through text. Yeah. So I think that the rappers of today know the power that they have on social media. Social media is the most powerful thing out there now. Look at it got an idiot elected president. Yeah. Now, you got to look at, so when you go back in, the problem I have with rap music now is you guys never glorify the demise of your people. Yeah. You might talk about some shit that went down, but you never glorified it. Yeah. In the same way is, we've always been cool, but you also knew who I was and how I was. Awesome. So, but I think there was respect, there was honor among thieves, and no matter what dirt people did back then, they still carried themselves as men. Yeah. And I'm not saying they're not being men now, but when you're sitting on a rap song and you're talking about, you might talk about how fine a woman is back in the day, but you never describe her genitalia or whatever, or you never grow about sipping on some scissor, I can't rap, but, or talking about popping pills and things of that nature. That's where I think it's been derailed now. They're glorifying just violence for no reason.
I think things were talked about back in the day, but they were talked about in a way to where the only people that knew what was being said were the people that was within that. There was certain, you talk about certain, you talk about certain drugs, you talk about certain acts in rap back in the 80s and 90s, I would say the 80s, that a certain group of people knew. Some people, kids were singing it, they had no idea what it was. So I think, and like he was saying, I think now it's just abrupt and in the face that you have no other choice but to know what the hell we're talking about. What's the one song, Throat Girl? Throw Babies. There's no hiding that.
But you know what, man? You know what? But we still got to understand the powers that be. And they about $1, and they know that nothing sells like sex, money, and drugs.
We gonna get,
you feel me, man? Yeah. And they put a lot of money into that. You feel me, man? They know that we living by it. We live by music. You feel me? We live by music. I don't know if other cultures really live by what the artists say as we do.
That's a very good point, bro.
You feel me?
But let me ask this question.
That's a great one.
So, in terms of that music effect, right? And similar to what you said, MJ, but also it coincides. Like, this last young boy who killed them people, they said, the white guy, they said he was influenced by the music he listened to. However, they did not identify the music they listened to. Had they said, had it been rap music that he listens
put out
to.
the
They would
Spotify.
identify
That's a good point.
Yeah.
the music that he listens to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can dig it. Yeah.
So, you know, but how do you perceive that? I don't know if we're jumping the gun from the thing, but how do you perceive the I'm gonna get straight to it, the violence that occurs and it's associated.
You know what, man? Being an artist that has some songs in my catalog that are violent driven, you know what I mean? But it wasn't a place for whenever I rapped about violence and stuff like that, it was about what I do to protect my family. That's the place that I was at. Do you feel me, man? If I was talking about shooting you, it was talking about if you was in my house or doing something against me or mine. You feel me, man? It was a place. It just wasn't just blatant. I kill you. Right. You feel me, man? It was from a place. Right? If you do this to me, we coming back and stuff like that. But what I hate is people not letting the artist just be an artist. And hey, man, I'm like a director now. I'm a movie star now. Denzel wouldn't be here having the same conversation about Training Day when it's some of the most violent shit, whatever, man. They let Denzel play his role, cut, and he done with that.
Right. Wow.
They don't let us be done with that. You feel me?
But I see it differently because I feel that Denzel, everybody knows Denzel's in character. Mm-hmm. But I think
we in character too.
No, a lot of them guys is living out what they're saying. And I'm just saying that with great, it's just
that's
like
where the artist messing up.
Yeah,
they need to understand that they are in
that's
character.
my point.
You feel me, man?
Exactly.
They need to understand
my
that
point is they don't realize, because I see it.
Yeah.
By being in the positions that I was in, and you see these young kids coming up, and they're singing the songs going down, and you see a young kid, I see the aftermath. Yeah. You guys see on TV, 15-year-old, 6-year-old kill somebody. When you go, and I was running Fugitive for 10 years. Yeah. So I knew every single homicide that happened in Atlanta, my hands were involved in the arrest. Yeah. Or my people, or I was on the scene, because I had to go to scenes. Yeah. And part of the warning.
I see you on the news.
But my point is that you don't see what that is. When we get that kid that's 14 and 15, they just gunned down somebody or killed 2 people. Mm-hmm. When you put them in there, most of those kids, you know where we find them? We find them in a crack house or abandoned property, because we'd already kicked in doors of all his family members and his older siblings and cousins telling, don't go back to mama's house, we're gonna whoop your ass if you do. So literally all these bros and all these people's gonna protect him. They jettisoned because they didn't want the big bag boogie bears kicking in their doors and getting their dope and everything else. And we would shut traps down to find that person. So what I'm saying is, when you see that innocent little kid and he's happy when we get him, and he'll say, awesome, how much time you think I'm gonna get? And I don't really mean to do it. And I say, hey man, and I shouldn't say this, but I used to tell them, no man, don't say nothing. Because I didn't want them to fuck their life up more than it already is by doing a confession right there. And you see, but it was not once, it was like literally 50 times. Yeah. And those kids, they live that life, and they're taking or the kids that are starting on drugs and scissor because it's been sung about. So when we used to work clubs, and I used to snatch drinks out, when I saw somebody coming up with a Burger King or McDonald's, I snatch it up and pour it out and look at them. Because I knew what was up. Yeah. Now, should I have done that? No, but I knew and see, you had kids that didn't know no better taking drugs simply because their favorite rappers talking about being high on syrup. Not high on weed or natural or something like that, but on, I'm just different about it, and I'm raw about it.
Yeah, it's difficult, man. It's difficult. You know what I mean? Like, with me, man, my father was Pastor Troy. You feel me, man? My dad, I took this name up, man. The name chose me. I didn't even choose the name. Somebody else, man, I'm rapping in school, man, a dude like Pastor Troy. I said, man, why you call me that? He was like, man, it just sounds like you're a preacher when you rapping. I said, man, that's a tight name. I gotta ask my daddy, can I use it? You know what I mean? But it gave me, here I am 20 years later, and I've been blessed to have a voice that they really look to hear something from. I ain't the one that they looking to hear a lot of the negativity and bullshit, man. I'm gonna do the song that's gonna talking about what happened to Trayvon Martin. I'm gonna do the song of the Address, just talking about what happened to Mike Brown and so many others. You know what I mean? I was all down there with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, man, when they killed George Floyd, man. So, you know, the tool that we got, man, I just want to encourage everybody, man, to use it for the best that you can. You feel me, man? Because it is powerful. You know what I mean? But it doesn't necessarily all have to be just one-sided.
So you actually answered my next question, which was going to be, how did Pastor Troy become Pastor Troy? But still, I want you to elaborate. Just go back for a minute, and it's gonna coincide with what we're talking about. You know, like, you started rapping when?
Yeah.
I mean, how did it become? What was the breaking point? How did you get to?
Man, rap was. I grew up on rap. As y'all guys, man, most of y'all right around my area, man. My brother's 5 years older than me. So, about 6 years old, man, we listened to Michael Jackson, we Beat It, we Thriller, all this stuff, man. He just come home one day like, man, we ain't listen to Michael Jackson no more, he gay. We B-boys now. I'm like, we B-boys now? What the hell is going on? Put these shoestrings in your shoes and we break dancing now. I'm like, oh, you got it. And I remember seeing Beat Street and Breaking at the National 7 movie theater right here, man. Just going to see those movies, man, as a kid, and seeing that these people are making money. They're on a movie, breakdancing, doing what we're doing every day in the neighborhood. It just resonated different to me, man. You feel me, man? I wanted that. So to finally to reach an age where I can step out there and pursue my rap dreams, man. My dad, being a pastor, I couldn't just blast secular music in the house. I was more so listening to this stuff on my headphones.
Because you had home training.
Yeah, man. You know, you couldn't get away from it though. But I couldn't disrespect it. You feel me, man? So my pops wasn't oblivious. He knew that I knew what was going on in the streets and all that stuff, man. I hear him hitting the broom up on the seal, and when I got it up too loud and stuff like that, man. But for me to take that and really pursue it as a career, as a job, the first person who I got my blessings from to do this was my pops. You feel me, man? Brought it back to him. I'm 19 years old. I'm not living at home anymore, but I still want your blessings with this career I'm ready to pursue. And him giving it to me, man, just made me want to do it even more, even better. You feel me, man? So it's dope.
Just that right there shows the difference of the mindset of, I mean, how many
home training.
You think one of the babies went and asked for this lesson?
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows.
Yeah.
And again, you know, I know, you know, a lot of people say that, you know, us older heads need to stop knocking the newer guys in their hip hop. Mm-hmm. You know, I see the kids singing it, so they must like it. I can't really knock it. I'm not gonna listen to it. But you know, that's not what we're trying to do. I promise y'all. But we are gonna talk about the way the music is presented. Yeah. And the battles. This is what I want to ask you about. The battles that's kind of fought behind the scenes. Yeah. In regards to, should this music be put out? Yeah. I don't want to put this music out no more because it's hurting my people. Yeah. Well, if you don't put this music out, you're not getting paid. We're going to drop you from the label.
It's so rough, man, because like I said at the beginning, the powers that be are behind that, man. They aren't necessarily pushing that spiritual song that Pastor Troy just made about this and that. You feel me, man? That's not making me my money. I'm making my money off of this sex, money, and drugs. So we gonna push this artist that's talking about that. Man, come on, man. Any artist that's talking to righteous, man, they really ain't at the forefront. You feel me, man? They kind of be in the back. You feel me, man? But the one that's talking the most negativity, top of the charts. You feel me, man? So it's a bigger fight that we got to fight with that thing, man, because the powers that be want their bread.
And I got another question to kind of follow up with that. And we talked about it on the show in the past. And I just want your honest opinion.
Yes, sir.
If there was a rap group, say, no, I wouldn't say rap, a white group, say Justin Bieber, and somebody's main screw or anybody of that nature, and they put out a song, Justin Bieber put out a song, I love you, but I did cocaine off your titties, and I killed a motherfucker coming to the doors, and I just wanna get some serve, so I'm just right, and I can beat this bitch down tonight and stand up in that pussy. Now this is an honest opinion. How long do you think it would take that label to cut it? Or tell them you can't put that out there. And every radio station in America, would they play it?
Man,
I
feel like that they really will protect their own in that kind of situation. And they'll pull Justin to the side and tell him, man, you need to go back in the studio and make something else.
No, but that's my point. Would they play the song?
I doubt it. Because they don't want that detriment to theirs. I know they're not going to do it.
Okay, there you go. That's what I want. Detriment to theirs.
Exactly,
but that's my point. But you got to realize, they've been doing this since NWA.
Oh, yeah.
NWA came out and put that out there, and then they wanted everybody to double down on that. They want to be raunchier than NWA. Then you had people that wasn't really about that lifestyle, rapping about that lifestyle.
Just join it.
But like I said, that's the difference. If a rapper came out, if Justin Bieber came out and do that, it wouldn't take 2 seconds. Johnson & Johnson would call that radio station up and say, hey, drop all our ads. They would force it. But that's my point about why I think the detriment, they allow, you can talk about killing black people all day long, and nobody says anything about it in rap.
Let me take you back to that song, man. So I got a song, Vice Versa. I rapped about everything. What if heaven was hell and vice versa? What if good was bad and bad was good? What would you do? Would you do bad? Or would you do good? You know? In the song, man, you know, I'm signed with Universal. I'm signed with the major record label. They Jewish or whatever you want to be. I had a line in there, man. I said, the views of all these motherfuckers making me sick. Virgin Mary may not fuck nobody, but she sucked dick with the click of nasty concubine. It's vice versa, so she probably do the whole 9. Boy, they goddamn when they changed that shit around. Bro, they edited the music. They ain't just edited the word. They edited the music too. You feel me, man? But I can say bitch and hoe and all this shit a million times.
We'll talk about shooting a black man.
A million times. That was the beginning of me saying.
That's my point.
Okay. This what we dealing with.
That's
now.
why I wanted to be on the show.
That's that power that be. You feel me, man? That was the reality check to me saying, okay, I can say all this against mine, but I can't say this line, period. And that's just started making me take it more serious.
2-minute break with that. We want to expound on that right there, man. 2 minutes. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
That's what I've been talking about. That's my point.
Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rather let is gonna go. Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rather let. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rather let is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rather let is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rather let is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rather let is go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. It's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. It's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rattle it. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rattle it. It's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rattle it. It's gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rattle it. It's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rattle it. It's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rattle it. It's gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
Man, looking at that skyline, I remember when that blue Marriott building used to be the tallest thing downtown. You know? Can't even see it no more
at all. Yo, what's happening, y'all? Yep, we are back. Please give us a call, man. Ask this man some questions. 404-500-1605. He is within the business, so if you have some questions that you've always been wondering, I know y'all been sitting around shooting the shit, started arguing about some shit that you thought a hip-hop guy should do or something. Yeah. This man could probably tell you why he didn't do it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, give us a telephone call. We got Pastor Troy here. Hopefully, Zaytoven will be able to give us a call. But I had a question for you. With everything that comes with your celebrity, is there a point where you recognize that, damn, I actually do have a responsibility. I am kind of a role model.
It's harder when you get that first fan. You feel me, man? When somebody really looking to you and towards you, man. Like, my biggest thing was I got younger siblings. You feel me, man? And them growing up, even now, from going from having younger siblings to now having my own kids, I'm like, is this really the line that I want to drop right now for them to be spitting back in my face? You feel me, man? So it's definitely a real juggling act, man. You know what I mean? But the good ones are able to figure it out, still expand, still be just as cool as you ever been, but just got a different message right now, man. As you're supposed to, man. I'm 44 years old. I'm not supposed to be giving the 24-year-old message. You feel me, man? You want to hear what I'm talking about at 24? Go back and check me out. You feel me, man? But I love my transition and what I've been able to do from year to year, man. Still, it's hell, man. They call me a legend now. You feel me, man? And I take it with stride, man.
Witnessing the way you change, man.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
To it too.
That's real, man. That's real, man.
And I've seen a lot of hip hop artists transition, you know, and sometimes it makes me wonder, will some of the ones that we think now are doing too much?
But that's the thing that you can't do things that'll jeopardize you, that even if you do change, it's too late. And that's where I see them brothers at right now. Everybody know what's going on in the city right now, man. We got a lot of big RICO cases and yah and woo woo woo.
2 more about to drop.
Yeah, you know, with these little brothers, man, a lot of them may not even understood where they were headed to when a lot of this stuff was going down. You feel me, man? So here you are. Whatever happened. Well, however, 5, 6, 7 years ago. But the problem is, it happened, and somebody gonna have to deal with it.
1, 5, 6, 7
You
years
feel
ago,
me, man? Somebody gonna have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Even if that's not even where your mind at today, I'm on something totally different. Still gotta face them. You still gotta be accountable. You feel me, man, for your action. That's why I just want brothers to be smarter and not. Man, don't let nobody play you off the street around the corner, man. Don't let nobody play you off the street, period, man. It ain't even that serious. It ain't even that serious, man. Get you some paper, man. If any of that shit is worth taking you from your kids, your family, it just don't, it don't balance out to me, man. You put that shit on that shit, man, that's just like, you feel me, man? It don't balance out. So, my prayers up for everybody, man, out here in this rap game, man. You know what I mean? Just be smarter. Be smarter, man. Come on, technology done changed so much since I've been doing it, man. I came out when tapes was out. You feel me, man? Come on, now, people don't even have a CD player in their car. You feel me, man? So, with the technology, man, it's a camera on every corner. Somebody saw something, or a phone or something, man. Just be smarter, man. Just be smarter. That shit hurt, man. Not being able, come on, man. As long as I've been doing this, how many artists I done seen die? Oh, man. You feel me, man? You know, it's crazy, man. My mom, such a blessing to me. So concerned for me in this industry that I'm in, that's so violent, so chaotic, whatever. It hadn't been a rapper to pass. It hadn't been a shooting at a studio or anything like that in Atlanta that my mom wasn't the first person to call me. You feel me, man? I'm talking about, bro, I see it on the news and I already say, she about to call. You feel me, man? She about to call. And I'm just glad that I'm able to calm her nerves and answer that call for her. You know what I mean? And I think about the artists, the fallen soldiers, man, who not able to answer that call for their mom, who not able to answer that call for their kids. That hurt me, man. It made me not want to be on that side of the fence.
Thank you so much for that. So, what's up? How are you?
I'm tired. How you doing?
Yeah,
you look
it's so
better
hard
than
for me
them,
to be
I tell
like,
you that.
oh, thank you. thank you. It's so hard for me to be like, we read. I'm sorry. Okay, I had to one time. I'm ready, Pastor Troy. I had to. As soon as I saw, I was like, I'm ready. I'm sorry. Okay. No, but okay. So I loved everything of the conversation, but I have been thinking about, cause like, you know, I am a lot younger in a certain space. Not a lot, but I'm younger, you know? And it was something about like the hip hop generation, Aqua Luke, you know, taking that to Supreme Court. Like you knew they was at Freaknik, you know, getting it. You know what I mean? They lived what they sung. You know what I mean? Like you saw their lifestyle. But there is something about now and something to be said about rappers now who a lot of them don't rap about their lifestyles in real life because they don't talk about the discipline that it takes to make it. They don't talk about like the habits that they have to practice. They kind of glorify the crime or the other stuff that they're doing, kind of like how they put cigarette ads in the hood. You know what I mean? Because Future doesn't
smoke.
We never agree. I gotta sit beside him more often. No, but like, you know, Future doesn't really sip lean. You know what I mean? And then all those things. And in the interview, he was asked about that, and he was legit like, I don't do that shit. You know, but he puts it in. So I like, my thing is, it's a lot of people that have those habits and that are really upstanding people in hip hop, but they glorify certain things, and that's just kind of like something I wanted to either discuss or just run by y'all, like because of the difference in character and then what they promote.
Like I said, Them artists that can pull it off are not dumb. You know what I mean? The powers that be, they know what these people want. You feel me? They know what the labels want to satisfy their obligations, man. I don't need a song about you talking about getting baptized. I need that song about you drinking 2 gallons of lean and woo woo. It might not necessarily be what the artist's doing, but like I say, being able to separate yourself from that. You feel me, man? Pastor Troy is not my name. I can't cash a check.
You can't write that on the check.
Troy. I can't cash that. Micah Troy is my name. You feel me, man? And when Micah Troy.
Oh,
Micah Troy is my name. One of the biggest things, I'm so glad that I've just been able to separate Pastor Troy and Micah Troy. You feel me? Pastor Troy is not married. Pastor Troy don't have kids. You feel me? Pastor Troy is a vigilante. But that's just the superhero that I created. You feel me, man? And I'm able to separate myself from the two. The sooner these artists are able to separate themselves from that every day, I don't walk around here just saying, well, like you know what I mean? I don't just walk around like that on an everyday basis. That's not me.
But why is it like that? Because with comedians, you have to, like, I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
The moment I'm not like myself on stage, like, I don't have the connection with the audience. So, like, why is it that rappers don't, like, is there a reason as to why you don't want...
What's your stage name?
My name, Vanetta Schofield.
Really?
You know, and I'm on stage as Vanetta. And when I started, I had Viva La Vie because I used to have like this nickname in my sales company. And comedians were like, yo, your name is solid and you should be yourself. And that real vulnerability is like really like those bits, those things like Patrice O'Neal not being able to spell restaurant. Like that's real that he was able to make humorous. I always wonder, why is I think it's more of an industry thing because what's marketable, because I think that people would listen to Michael Troy and want to know about Michael Troy. You know,
I give it to him, but it's still not. One thing about it, being an artist, man, you give yourself so much that you want to keep something for yourself.
Yeah.
You feel me, man? You give yourself so much that you want to keep something for yourself. You know what I mean? I don't know how I can expound on that even more. You feel me, man? So
I'm
it's
curious.
cool. You know what I mean?
Touching on something about that, I'm curious.
Wait, before you go, because this is hurting my soul. Move that bottle from the corner right there.
What you want?
I was gonna say. About 3-4 more times.
I was scared.
I was over here, boy. I was like,
It's all good.
oh, don't let that fall.
I ain't gonna turn it out.
Don't need this on film. My reaction is what I'm talking about.
We appreciate y'all, man. Send us some more bottles. We need sponsorship.
Touching on the industry side versus and the artist side, you talking about keeping stuff for yourself. Like I know us personally, like just out here, college graduate, college. I don't know if y'all went to college. You know what I'm saying? So we got several college graduates. We all know somebody right now we could call that could get illicit substances up here. Everybody got a guy. You're the only one up here with a record deal. All right? You don't. All right? So what happens is we encourage people to aim high, to make something themselves, make money or whatever. But listen, illicit substances are easier to get than a record deal. It's easier to get than a college degree, and college degree is easier to get than a record deal. Only one record deal up here. So they wind up as an artist putting their souls up as collateral with the things that they talk about. So we get a lot of guys who are young and they might have raw talent, but they got infantile education or awareness about things. So it shouldn't surprise us when they get in this position of authority or power or control or money and then go back to doing the things that we don't understand why they're doing. Like when you go from not having to having, are you going to tell them not to be who you were? You know what I'm saying? So how do you address something that the industry, you know what I'm saying? And when you're young, I'm assuming you get a record deal. I was just, man, listen, I was just trying to get a little money in my pocket, smoke good, drink good, whatever it was. So that's all the record company has to give them because that's all they were looking for. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these young guys were just looking for that. That's what everybody wants is to enjoy their weekend. And this is how they want to enjoy their weekend. So that's all the record companies got to give them is enough to pacify what's going on. But how do they overcome, like I said, being thrust in that position of power, and a position of power that we don't ask any other groups to be in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't ask Justin Bieber to be a spokesman for all young people. Like white people don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just not what we asking.
Yeah.
But that's because we don't need to. Like, we have positions of power through every mechanism known. People that are put in positions of power or authority or celebrity are done by mainstream people. So it's a choice that's being made. So how do you juggle that? Not selling your soul out, but also not damaging. But you know what I'm saying? How do you juxtapose those?
Bro, man, and it always goes back to what I was just saying. Being able to separate who you are and who you're representing. You feel me, man? You know what I mean, man? That's the biggest juggling act to figure out. You feel me, man?
Like, America makes you an opportunist, but then it institutionalizes you at the same time. So, like, how do you...
Man, dog, and it's difficult, but... And it's nothing, and it's not gonna happen overnight. You feel me, man? You gotta experience these situations to even start thinking about them differently. You feel me, man? Luckily, I was blessed to, man. I'm 20 years old. I'm in college. I believe that, man, I can do this rap thing. Mom, Dad, I'm not going back to school. I'm about to be a professional rapper.
You gonna do what?
You what?
I said it wrong.
It was, but I had my whole spiel together. Dad, you told me I could be everything I wanted to be. All I had to do was put my mind to it. He like, now you want to use it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But my situation was different having them behind me. But one thing that's not going to be different with any of them, man. Where you start is not gonna be where you finish. You feel me, man? You gotta understand this game, man, and be able to really separate yourself from that, man. You feel me, man? That's the biggest. If I could tell any up and coming artist, the most important thing to have some longevity in this game, man, and really get all the benefits out of it, you got to be able to separate yourself from who everybody else sees you as and who you are. Because when you're trying to do that, man, you're going to be shooting. You're going to be doing all these things to please them instead of doing the things to please yourself.
I think most artists should look at it but what you said earlier about how do you juxtapose the two, how you look at it, I think if they looked at it from a branding perspective, because that's focused on a money perspective, and like in branding, it's like, synergy and like alignment. So, who is going to give you a check, So like, I think if that was more of a focus, I think not that more people would be themselves, more people would stop talking about the things that they talk about, because it's more money to be had and be made. Like, Mona Scott Young was the first to get a actual sneaker deal for a music artist. Like, that was less than 20 years ago. That was about 20 years ago. So it's not necessarily like that consistently has happened before, but it's a lack of focus. And I think if there was a more focus on like legit money, like real, you know what I mean, and not like illegal scratching nipples off guns money, you know what I mean? I think that would be kind of better.
I think, and I'll try an analogy that's gonna throw everybody for a loop. I put the rap game on the same level as a thin blue line in the police department.
Yeah.
Because I think so many rappers and everybody's missing it because everybody here has made it. We six-figure people, everybody at the table.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher, so
okay, hold up. Let's be real. You and your wife, six-figure. Okay, so what I'm saying is that they have to pay homage to the street. That's why so many of them fake being street if they're not street.
Yeah.
And the ones that are have to, like the Baby and all them, and the ones that are indicted right now in Atlanta, it's like they had to stay true because their core group, their core audience is that.
Yeah.
But everybody's done it. Haven't you heard somebody bumping along and say, damn, these motherfuckers can turn that shit down? And you look over and it's a group of white kids, or it's a 30-year-old white guy and he's bumping the Baby.
Yeah.
So it's mainstream, but they don't treat it like it's that. They don't want what you're talking about,
right?
Because they're people that came up from shit. So when you got $1 million, you got $8 million in the bank, they think they'll never lose it.
Yeah.
But what it does and why I think they have to have a greater responsibility. And I know what you're saying, okay, we're putting that no other races put on. That's being black in America.
Yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying we don't ask any, like we don't.
Oh yeah, but that's the racism that's in America.
Yeah.
It's like a black cop. You're asked to do shit. I had to shit fire out of my ass. You know, in the 2000s, there was only there's a period of time in CID there was only 2 blacks of rank. It was me and Chief Meadows now. Chief Meadows at the time. Meadows was lieutenant. And I was a sergeant for a while. We had a Deputy Chief Jackson, who should have been chief. Excellent man. And that's how it was. And that's so when you put it in the rap game and you talking about guys that are being pushed to be thug and they can't go away. They could hate what they're saying, but the record label's pushing it. You know, like you said, the Jews. They're pushing them to be the same way they push in NWA, and it's okay. You got to out-infected that group. Be the best infected you can be. And I don't use the word niggas, so I call them infected. And so the infecteds, they be the best infected you can be, and I think it's created a culture just like Thin Blue Line where people, you have police officers that don't want to go against the grain because they think they may be outcasted. And I think the rappers are the same way. They don't want to be thrown outside of a group. That's why I wanted you to get here, because I know at the end of the day, you cut from the right cloth. Your brother would have whooped your ass if you did the wrong thing. And then you had your daddy.
And that's where I wanted to go with when he said about your brother. When you think about them, you know, the rappers coming up in the 80s and 90s, they had a support team. And it was usually somebody older, or it was some goon that was on their squad that still was their support. And would give them what they needed to hear. And I think now you made a great point in regards to, I mean, they're taking kids, not saying that they didn't do this back then, but they're taking kids now, they're freshmen in high school, some of them. And they're putting them on this game. They don't have a support team. Their only support team is people that's, in the 10th grade, you got a yes man. I'll never forget, I saw Lewis Williams at Snellville High School. The dude had like 17 guys walking behind him coming to the game. And I was like, yo, he's all right, McDonald's All-American and everything, but I was like, this dude has yes men, and he's a junior in high school. So you can imagine what some of these younger hip-hop artists are getting now, because if you're the one that the light gets shined on, your partner ain't gonna take the light off of you, because if the light shines on you, once you step to the side, it's gonna shine on me a little bit. You know, and I think that's where a lot of the issues is. They don't have that brother that you had.
I pray that them boys have 5 years, because in 5 years with the brother without, your heart gonna change being in that game. Being in there, you're gonna see so much. You're gonna see so much, man. You ain't getting no younger. You growing. You feel me, man? You 20 years old, man. By the time you hit 25, shit, 10 going to your show and picking up 10,000 and spending 11. That's gonna end. You feel me, man? We're not gonna be doing this every weekend, man. And it's about living and learning. You feel me, man? But you can't burn yourself out where, as you living and learning, you still got to go back and deal with these things from the past.
Well,
man.
Why should they listen though? We have, when you started, you just said when you got your first fan, it was real to you. But you started off small shows, college. You know, like especially in Georgia, it's legendary making a college circuit. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, if you were starting off right now, all you need is a camera phone and your beat, and you can put out a TikTok, and it gets 3 million views, and all of a sudden why should I listen? You know, why should I listen to you as a young guy? Why should I listen to what you got to say? I made it with no help, with nobody. You can't tell me anything.
And that's a part of the problem too, man, because when I came into the game, man, studio time was expensive. You feel me, man? I took this serious. You feel me, man? I'm not out here bullshit, man. I just left college to pursue this. You feel me, man? Studio time was $200 then, man. Reel to reels, people just didn't have no studio set up. Now anybody with a computer got a studio. You feel me, man? So it doesn't necessarily mean to them what it meant to me. You feel me, man? And hopefully that they'll get some of that, man, because it was serious, man. Come on, man.
But they're not gonna get it because you had to do so much to get it. You know what I mean? Like, and the stakes are just not as high these days. Like, and I just want to say, I'm sorry. I just want to say one more thing. You have the longest and prettiest eyelashes I've ever seen.
I appreciate it.
I'm like analyzing these other eyelashes. I'm like, Jae Tea eyelashes short. This nigga eyelashes short. You know, I mean, I'm like, look at that. No, you got some. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Hey, you were saying.
No, it touches on what you were saying. I'm not looking you directly in the eyes because I don't know. But like, we're all of a certain age where we have the Jordan versus LeBron debate, and it always goes back to like the 80s basketball. Is there less of a struggle now for up and coming artists? You know what I'm saying? Is there less of a struggle or less of a grind?
It's way easier. Come on, man. Social media.
But I think with everybody
at my peak.
But I also know your family background. We're friends. But I also know the people you're talking about. Well, you know, the entourage. They're not an entourage. A lot of people don't realize the rapper in a lot of these groups is the number 8 person. He's nobody. He just raps. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of these guys owe a lot to individuals, and I'm not gonna name some names because open investigations, but you also know one that's closed now that you gotta realize when you got bodies with people and you've done shit with people, you just can't cash out when you want to. And a lot of them want to step out, but they can't. You know, a lot of them, because you gotta realize, you know, there's only so many Gucci mans. You know.
Bliss.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel me, man? Bliss. I'm talking about, man.
Ask a couple. Always making a case, ain't it?
I done been out there in them situations, man. You know, I remember riding with the entourage, 22, 23. We were out of town. We in a whole fight. Dude get stabbed. Somebody in my entourage stabbed. I'm in the van. I'm ready to go. My entourage is in here fighting. We here for me. Okay, you feel me, man? If that stuff don't resonate with you,
and they never say Lou got stabbed. It's a member of Pastor Troy's entourage.
The biggest name gonna get the blame. You feel me, man? I'm like, I just know what these 12's gonna do. That's up under me. I don't know what you gonna do. I don't know what you gonna do. I don't know what you gonna do. I'm responsible for these 12s, and it just made it a lot easier for me to travel and handle my business, man, because I got rid of the 50-man entourage, man. I ain't got to do that. These people up here want to see me just as bad as y'all want to ride with me to be seen. You feel me, man? Man, how I did it was so dope. I'll just say, for instance, like Columbia, South Carolina. The first show I did in Columbia, South Carolina, man, was in 1999. The people that I met at that first show in my dressing room gonna be there on the 30th when I go back up there, man. Now me and these boys got 23-year relationships, and the city knows that I deal with them to the point where they embrace me too. They feel like it's a homecoming. It's another fort that I done built. And that's what I love about it, man. I don't even, from my shows going from fighting and all this stuff, man, now it's a homecoming. All the artists out there, man, make it to your homecoming days. You feel me, man? Make it to you coming to the city, man, is a family event as opposed to, let me check and see what this motherfucker's talking about to be real. You feel me, man? Get past all that. Artists, y'all got a big part to play of it too. It ain't nothing wrong with, you ain't got to sit up in the VIP all night. Oh, man, come in this club and shake somebody's hand and tell them what's up and let them see that you're a normal person, man, that you all right. It'll take you a lot further. You feel me? It'll take you a lot further.
But you always been like that too.
I learned it early.
Hey, man.
You feel me? Learned it early, man.
I got to get this question in from Caswell. I'm going to be in trouble. That's my wife. She asked, out of all your hits, which song do you feel was the most profound?
I say the most profound had to be the No More Playing GA with the whole New Orleans, Atlanta thing, man. It's still a thing to this day. Football season, man. We got the motherfucking first football game. You feel me, man? And it's a beautiful thing, man, from a song that started off as something that was supposed to be rap beef or whatever that transitioned to becoming a football team. I'm a brand ambassador for the Falcons now.
Yeah.
Right.
How about
Where the
that?
hell did that come from?
How about that part right there, right?
Man. So it's just beautiful, man. You know what I mean? All y'all artists, man, live it all the way out. Get everything. Squeeze this lemon until it ain't no more juice in this thing. I'm talking about squeeze it, baby. Make you a nice cup of lemonade out this thing, man.
Nah, but it's not even not squeezing a lemon, but it's what you said. It's a relationship business, and you took relationships to the maximum because now you got a whole city that you go back and your relationships can flourish with that whole community. So I just want to commend you because that's something that as an artist we all should want to have solid relationships. Are currency. It ain't even about like everybody focus on the money, the plays, that. But it's about the connections and what you build. So I just want to thank you for what you brought to the game and the example that you set. What's up? Okay. And I just wanted to dap him and then I can leave. No, but thank you.
And we'll be enemies next week.
Yes. I can't wait to argue with you again.
Y'all got a beautiful platform here, man. You know what I mean, man? Anyway, I can help y'all push it, whatever we got to do, man. You know what I mean?
So
because
that's
I got this beat I want you to hear.
Wait. Look, so all we needed was a woman to talk about your eyelashes. Now we got a beat.
I love it, man.
So somebody made a statement, Jaron said music artists are encouraged to create a character persona to relate to the dreams of the people, not to be themselves, to get fans to relate to them. Is that pretty consistent? And
say it one more time.
Music artists are encouraged to create a character or persona to relate to the dreams of the people, not to be themselves, in order to get fans to relate to them.
But you know, and I don't have no problem with that. But after you get them on your line, reel them in. You feel me, man? Even if it is to, even if say I'm a chef, you love me for my hot wings, but you ain't tasted my fish. Get them in there, and you know what I mean, and switch that thing up. Now I'm giving you this, and they'll eat it, and they'll enjoy it. You feel me, man? Present it. You know what I mean? Present something different. People, they're gonna grow with you. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody staying the same age. You're not getting older, and your fan base not. You feel me, man? So I get it. I was there. I was 20. I knew what we were saying. I knew what we was doing. I knew what we were trying to do. But when I hit 25 and 26, I didn't feel comfortable no more rapping about the same old things from just being a kid. For one, man, I'm gonna tell y'all one story, man. I was probably about 27, 28. A dude in Charlotte, North Carolina was getting served with a warrant. Police knocking at the front door. The dude in there listening to one of my more violent songs, the song Murder Man. He in there listening to Murder Man going crazy. Police knocking at the door with a warrant. This dude goes out the front door and shoots the damn 2 police officers execution style. It's all over the news. It's everywhere, all in Charlotte and everything, man. So they get on the news, man. They talked about my song with the lyrics up and everything more than they talked about the crime. You feel me, man? I'm saying, wow, they just threw me out here like this with this man. In my defense and in my statement, I was like, you know, my heart goes out to the family of the lost officers. My heart goes out to the family of this young man who just messed up his life. But we sold 70,000 of those CDs. I don't know what was wrong with his. You feel me, man? He listened to it backwards like they used to say the Prince albums was and stuff like that. I don't know what he was doing. You feel me, man? But just situations like that, man. All that stuff, man. It'll mold you, man, and make you move differently, man. Just to get the comfort from my dad, just say, Dad, man, this happened, man. This dude just did this. They was like, Mike, if that was his mind was set to do, that was his mind was set to do anyway. It ain't matter what he was listening to. That's what he was gonna do.
Hey, that's deep.
And it made me feel a lot better, man. You know what I mean? I pray for these brothers out there, man, because we don't even understand the obligation that we have. We don't even understand how people gonna take these things that we say.
Literally.
You feel me, man? So I pray for those artists, man, that get caught up in these situations. All I'm praying that these artists are able to do is separate themselves. Let that be your persona. Let that be your character. Let that be like Denzel turn into
and
this nigga on Training Day.
It's crazy that you say that because you're right. Every time you see them, they are exactly who they are on stage. And I hate doing the whole to the old school or whatever. But you look at LL. Yeah, no, he still goes by LL Cool J. If you look at the TV shows he's in, it don't say Todd Smith. It says LL Cool J.
That one got a whole other name.
But when you see him out at an award show, out at an event, he's not LL Cool J that you see on stage. You know what I'm saying? He's not that LL Cool J.
You got to be able to pick it up, turn it on,
he
put
actually,
it down.
you can see the separation. And that's what's,
that's the sanity.
What Jaron was saying to me, Jaron was just saying it makes sense that they've been convinced so much to be this representation or this character they actually become that person to the point to where they cats probably going to sleep in these 17 chains.
Yeah, man,
they're probably
they lose themselves.
They lose themselves in it
and
to
put it
where
down.
they can't go to an award show and just be
who I am,
Rodney, whoever his name is. And instead, they got to be the rap guy, even on the red carpet.
Man, the dudes that survive in this game is the ones that figure it out. You feel me? The dudes that ain't going away to prison and is the ones that figure it out.
But you said something several times throughout the show, and I want to just get your opinion. We talk about this all the time, and Ask a Cop harps on these statistics in terms of you raised by two parents. And you just said you were able to go to your father. And his conversation with you kind of helped you get through it. But you got a lot of these youngsters now.
Not necessarily that blessed, unfortunate.
They're not. I mean, they're raised, if they're raised by their mother, I mean, it's just the mother. You know what I mean? How much of that do you contribute to?
I give it all to him, man. I give it all to him, man, because I know that's a difference maker, man. Just to have that, just to have somebody to make it proud. You feel me, man?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean? That was my biggest thing, man. I can't let them down with this. That y'all don't let me leave school to pursue this. I gotta make it right. You feel me, man? And I just appreciate them so much, man. It's so funny. My mom and dad, man, this is my first conversation. My first adult conversation with my parents is to ask them for their blessing to be a rapper. I'm upstairs in the mirror in the bathroom. Mom, Dad, I'm gonna do this. The mirror said, nigga, take your ass down there and just go ask them. I'm sick of this shit. I'm up there an hour. Man, went down, broke it down to him. My mom, told my dad, this is what I want to do. Whatever. My mom sitting there, man, she break down crying. I was like, Mom, what's wrong? I don't want you to be like Tupac.
That's what I was gonna say. Who did she bring up? Who was the first person she thought of?
I don't want you to be like Tupac. I was like, Mama, I ain't gonna be like Tupac. It's Tupac. Well, I ain't gonna be like him either. You feel me, man? But them being concerned with that made me concerned with that. Man, we leave out here every weekend to go out here and hit this road, man. My whole goal always been to get home. I got to get home. I have to get home. My parents not gonna get no phone call from out here on this road that I done got killed. Not from something that can be prevented. You feel me what I'm saying? I ain't talking about no car accident. I'm talking about bullshit. You feel me, man? And that's
real.
Yeah, man. Take that shit serious, man. Get home. Everybody get home. Get your friends home.
being that she said she didn't want you to be like Tupac.
Yeah, that was right at the time, man. You know, Tupac had just died. She didn't know what was going on, but she saw it on the news. You feel me, man?
So when you was coming into the game, who was that idol, that rapper that was out there that you looked up to and follow behind?
You know what? Being the preacher's kid that I was, I couldn't be too invested with anybody like that. And I'm glad I wasn't, because I didn't have to pay any real homage like that, man. I could just be who I was. Wow. You feel me? I ain't really had that influence, and that was a blessing. That was a blessing.
Deep, now that you think about it, because most people are paying some type of homage to somebody that, they
would just bang and listen to. I couldn't even listen to you like that, man. The stuff that I was rapping about was the stuff that I felt and learned. You feel me, man? From growing up the son of a pastor, man, just going to college for the first time, that joint was like a rude awakening, man. Like, from everything that I learned at home, from trusting people to everything that I had learned, stepping out in that real world, it was all vice versa. And that's where that song came from, man. I was at a place where I'm like, okay, the good stuff is the bad stuff. And the bad stuff is the good stuff.
Yeah, I think all of us went through that moment.
You feel me, man? You feel me, man?
We just didn't rap about it.
Yeah. And I think that's why everybody resonated like they did, man, because so many people had felt it. You know what I mean? It was just something that everybody had felt but didn't really know how to express it. And I was just glad that God gave me the words to be able to bring some understanding to it.
I'm curious, like, she asked about the first song that was profound or whatnot. We have a running joke about me talking reckless on Facebook, and when people like the stuff that I say, whatever. What was the first time or the time that the most impressionable time you can remember where it's one thing when you start off and you think I'm gonna try this thing, but there's got to be a point where early on you stepped out and there was a larger crowd than you expected, and they were all saying the stuff you were saying back to you.
Yeah.
How does that, like, I don't have anything, no frame of reference.
Right, you can't compare.
Like I get 300 likes on Facebook because I said something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to talk to a group of people who think the same way and stuff like that, but when you have an opportunity where you step out there one time and it's like, maybe you're used to 200 people in a room or whatever, and then the first time you like, it's 1,000. And you like when you walk out there, like, what is that feeling to be out there and look out over a crowd of people who are saying some stuff that you said from your heart, that you put on wax, and they're saying back to you.
You can just hold the microphone out.
Right,
man, dog. And it's so crazy. And being out there in that moment, all I'm thinking about is, I hope everybody make it home safe, and I hope the next thing I tell them, they love just as much, but they have to grow with me. They got to grow with me. You feel me, man? I'm not gonna stay at this place, and I hope y'all don't think I'm gonna stay at this place either.
Now that's the grown-up you. What about the 20-year-old?
Even then, because I was already, my brother was 5 years older than me, and he was my everyday. He couldn't go unless I went. So I was blessed to have a little bit more game than my peers. You feel me, man? Because I was with my big brother. So I understood the obligation of saying, all right, man, dog, I got him doing this, I got him doing that. They're following me, they listening to me. Let me tell them some of this other good shit that brother told me too. You feel me? Or Pops done told me too. You feel me? That I know. And that's where the vice versa came from. Well, no more playing GA, they were ready to tear up the club, they fighting and everything. Then I came with a song or vice versa where I tell them, close your eyes and listen to this. Free your mind and listen to this. You feel me, man? And they did it. Man, dog, just being able, just the whole pastor thing and the rap, just having my dad come in the studio with me and pray on songs and do all these different things that he did with me, man. You know what I mean? The whole Pastor Troy thing was different. You feel me? To turn around and then meet fans that say, man, Troy, that prayer that you said at the beginning of your song, man, I say that every day when I woke up. I never heard that.
How did that
you
feel?
never heard that, and this what I've been. This been every day.
Yeah. How did that feel to you when somebody said that to you?
Great. It got back to understanding that obligation and that priority and the job that you have, that what it can really do, the power of this platform and what it can really be. My dad, man, was so proud that I was able to introduce his teachings to a whole nother flock that he never would have potentially even spoke with. You feel me, man? I heard this from some of his friends. Like, man, I'm at the barbershop, man. The dudes find out that I'm Pastor Troy's dad, and it just turned into a whole nother thing in the barbershop. Oh, man, dog. Man, he always talk about God in his songs, man. He always does this and all that. And just for my dad to get to hear that and bring it back to me, that's awesome. I know we own it. You feel me, man? I know we own it. So,
staying on that topic, what do you think church in America has become? 'Cause I know you discussed it with your dad.
Yeah.
What do you think church in America has become to black Americans?
Yeah.
And do you think not having the upbringing we had, where you had your dad, where you really had it, but you were forced to go to Sunday school, Sunday school, and now you have a black generation after generation after generation that doesn't have no basis or contact with God. How much do you think that has to do with the violence?
A lot.
Including the rappers that rap about it.
A lot, man. Come on, man. Just the 10 Commandments. You feel me, man? Just the 10 Commandments. You know what I mean? Just hearing the 10 Commandments as a kid, it always resonated with me through my life. You know, thou shalt not kill. You feel me, man? I feel like there's a punishment for going against the commandments. You know what I mean? You might not have to deal with it today, but you're gonna have to deal with it at some time. So I try to revere that as much as I can. You feel me, man? And I just wish these brothers, you know what I mean? It ain't gotta be Christianity. It ain't gotta be none of that. But believe in something. Whatever makes you a better person, and you know what makes you a better person. Believe in it. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm at with it, man. You know what I mean? I've been blessed. 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 I've been blessed, man. You know, I see my dad in the studio with me, man. We interviewing with the Source magazine, man. They asking him, are you proud of your son now that he has made it big? My dad was like, I was proud of him when I cut his umbilical cord. That's the kind of shit I've been able to pop off of, man. So when you got somebody behind you like that, man, you don't want to let them down, you know. And I hope all these little brothers have somebody in their life. If you don't have your father in your life, you know what I mean? If it's not your mother, but somebody, find that person in your life that you don't want to let down.
And see, and that's something else, you know, in regards to that. I hate it seem like I'm talking about people's parents, but let's face it, a lot of the parents are really young. So a lot of these kids, especially the ones that's, you know, that made it in this thing, their parents are their friends.
Yeah.
You know, they're not, their parents gonna say I'm proud, but they're not really in it, say, to not let them down.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different vibe.
I was blessed that my mom didn't want to be next to me on stage and all that kind of stuff, man. You know what I mean? Now it's kind of like she don't want to be talking about my dancer, man.
Especially when we're talking about, you know, the single mothers and everything. There's so many out there that were looking for the quick buck to give back to their mother, instead of just trying to do it to be successful and make your parents proud. Not saying you didn't want to give something back to your parents, but at the same time, you really wanted to just do something well so that they can be proud of you.
Man,
you know, a lot of these kids out there just trying to get that quick dollar so that they can, you know, mama, you did this for me, let me get you out of this apartment. And it ain't about them being proud. It's just like, I'm just happy that I was able to get you out of this apartment. Now I'm good. I'm done with you in regards of making you proud.
Man, dog, you know, I just hope that I'm being a good example for the little brothers that watch me and know me and stuff like that, man. I mess with a lot of the younger artists and stuff like that, man. Blue, it's hard for me, man, as a cop. Man, I was in the store a couple days ago, man. Dude is in the store. I got my daughter with me. She 8. Terrified of gun. If it ain't with no police officer. You feel me, man? Yeah. Man, this dude got no shirt on, extender hanging out his pocket, like it's about to fall. I'm just sitting up here saying, man, if you gotta be out here with all that, you don't need to be outside, man. You feel me? If you that scared to be out here, that you gotta have a gun hanging out your pocket at the gas station, it's just so different, man. It's just so different. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I'm getting old or not, but that just still one of my style at 20, 21. You know what I mean? If I had a pistol, it wasn't for the world to see. Right. I gotta, it's tough. Conceal. You feel me, man? Now it's just so wild west. You feel me, man? I'm sitting up there, man, and
it's a combination. You getting older, and times have changed.
But as disrespectful as I felt, I wanted to say, man, put that gun up. Man, bro, do you really got to be carrying this gun out here like this? You feel me? Do you really got to be out here toting like this? If it is, what do you got going on, man, that you got to be out here like this? Like that. Just different, man.
We got a caller. Hung up. Okay. Caller, you want to call back? You can.
All right, we're gonna. I mean, the more you got, no.
I'm not gonna try to get.
All right, we're gonna take a 3-minute break. Then we're gonna come back. We're gonna get into this. The thing we was talking about with you in South Georgia, and this whole politics thing, the voting thing. I'm gonna run about 4 questions, rapid fire questions at you real quick too. When we come back, then we get into that. We'll be right back, y'all. Give us 3 to 5 minutes.
Hanging out.
You had a quiet break, but you better play that theme song, man.
He gets a nickel every time we play that.
What? 2.7%. 2.7 cents. I'm sorry. Yeah, we are back. Classic Konversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Listen here, man. Got my man Pastor Troy in the building. He is breaking it down from the inside. Again, a lot of us think we know what goes on behind the scenes, but this man is breaking it down for us. Couple of questions for you, and then we're going to get into something I know that's dear to your heart. You got to get out of here for a meeting. But in regards to hip hop and owing the community, do you feel that hip hop owes a community in regards to trying to be in the forefront of our culture because the community is the ones that actually purchase their music?
I think it's a give and take thing, man. You feel me? I think it's a give and take thing. Like, I don't think any artist should take it for granted, but I still don't think that this community should make it their responsibility. You feel me, man? You're like, it's difficult. You feel me, man? It's difficult to get between that thing, man, because they have so many expectations from you, from being from this area and woo woo. You're supposed to give back, of course, but let me give back as I want to. Don't force me to. You feel me, man? You know what I mean? Let me give back how I feel, not as you feel I should. You feel me, man? Hell, the person on the outside looking in think that you owe them their whole everything that you've accomplished. You feel me, man? Man, your one album that you bought for $10, that ain't goddamn getting you back everything that I done accomplished in this game. You feel me, man? So one thing about me is that the hood has been able to watch me, and we've been able to grow together and understand together because we both figuring it out. You feel me, man? To be able to go back to the hood and do our annual Easter egg hunts and all this good stuff, man. It's so beautiful, man, and it's so dope, and I appreciate it so much. But it's letting the hood know that, hey, man, as much as I'm gone, I'm still here. You feel me, man? And that's how you play it.
So you basically feel it's really important for you to be present in the community and instead of up on a podium doing whatever. You want to be in the community and be approachable because you seem like they're approachable. I mean, you just said you was in the store the other day.
Some people have different, it might be easier for some people to operate that way. It's easier for me to operate this way. I'm the hood pastor. What pastor ain't been approachable that you can't shake their hand, man? You feel me? I got a different obligation than some of these other artists got, and I take pride in it.
That's dope, man. So listen, we're gonna get into this thing in regards to voting and everything, and I know that's something that's close to your heart, and everything. So go ahead and share, some
man,
things about it.
God bless, man. I've been able to hook up with Stacey Abrams and Raphael Warnock, man, just to help push the vote, man, get more people in our age bracket just registered, man. You know what I mean? It's so sad that it's not as important to the 20, 21-year-old, 18-year-old plus. You know what I mean? You can vote at 18 years old, but we don't put that emphasis in our community as the white people do in theirs. You know what I mean? They're picking their kids up from school, taking on them and all their friends to go vote, where ours necessarily might not even be registered. Then we look up and lose and wonder how we lost when we had so much support in the city. You feel me, man? It's so much bigger. This state is about Georgia. It ain't about just Metro Atlanta. And I was just able to incorporate that into their campaign plans, man, to open it up, man. Let's go down to Athens. Let's go down to Augusta. Let's go to Rome. Let's go to Albany and get these young children registered. Let them know that it's important, man. You know what I mean? That, hey, man, this vote, people died, shed blood for you to have this opportunity. Take it serious. You feel me, man? And with that being said, man, I'm all about trying to open them up to it, man. If it goes down how it's going on right now, man, I know you done seen way more Herschel Walker stuff than you done seen probably Raphael Warnock. You feel me, man? But I'm just glad to be an artist, to be able to bring my influence into the game, man, and try to get us some more people registered. I don't care who you vote for. Just get registered to vote. It doesn't have to just get, my position is get registered.
Right.
You feel me? Get registered.
Because when you get registered, you listen more, and when you listen more, you learn more, and that will actually
influence you
to hopefully go the right way.
Yeah.
Not just vote because he wore number 34 and he won a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like even with Stacey Abrams, man, with her and Kemp, it's the same situation on a bigger scale, man. We got an opportunity to have the first black governor of Georgia be a part of this history. Be a part of this history. Be a part of this history. Whichever way you vote, be a part of the history, man.
That should be your slogan.
Yeah, man.
Be a part of this history. I love that.
Yeah, man.
Be
That's real.
Brandon, let's get one of them shirts, man.
I was gonna say, I'll have it on the website tonight. Hey, look.
Be a part of this history. I love that.
The pastor, Troy, said
be a part of this history.
Be a part of this history.
I got you.
Hey, listen, I know you got to go. But I just got to ask this question.
Light, blue and white.
Ask this question. because you said some things today that just hit me in all kinds of ways and just resonated so deep.
I appreciate it,
and just learning more about.
Hey man, one thing I got to tell you, man. Congratulations on your son and everything, man.
Thank you, brother.
I was born on the Army base. I was born in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, man. I wear these dog tags with pride. I grew up like a soldier, man. So I totally get it. Salute to you, man. God bless you.
But back just real quick in reference to today's generation, right? And I'm an old school hip hop fan. You know what I mean? I'm KRS-One. I'm BDP. So
Public Enemy.
But I know back then there used to be like a lot of hip hop symposiums and people trying to touch folks that are coming up. Is that alive, or is it possible? Because things that you said tonight, I think has to be heard in this rap generation. I mean, you said some things, man, that just needs to be heard throughout. And I'm just wondering, is it possible where somebody like you and some of these other guys who are saying positive things can create some kind of something?
I'll be down, man.
It doesn't have to be to all the public's viewing, but these young rappers, man, they need help.
They need something.
It's bad. It's bad, and I think because a lot of them don't have the father, and some of them don't have the father figure. They only have the street figure. That's it. You know what I mean? But if they could really hear from somebody who's been doing this, you know what I mean? You didn't just start it, bro. You've been, you know what I mean? And then for the South, I mean, you right there,
guys.
You one of the ambassadors,
man,
of the South. Real talk.
That's real.
You know what I mean?
That's real.
And it's just, and these guys need to hear that.
And I'm looking forward to, man, playing with every part I can play, man. That's why it wasn't nothing for me to come over here. I already know Ask a Cop and how we kick it, man. I already know what kind of platform that I'm sure that y'all boys, what I just stepped into was nothing that I didn't expect. You know what I mean, man? I appreciate y'all boys for the opportunity, man. And however y'all, it's going to take a group effort, man. It ain't going to be nothing that the artist can just do by themselves. It's going to take a collective effort from all of us to get these boys to the table, man, and say, hey, man, listen to this. You feel me, man? Come on in, man. Let me just listen to me for 1 second.
Absolutely. Got my mind working right now, boy.
Imagine Kendrick Lamar if he switch up a little bit, man. I like his rap now, but I could imagine if he had more of a Public Enemy stage.
And I'm talking about, man, my blessing, going back to the Public Enemies and BDPs, they never made the money that these dudes are making now. But it was a different thing. You feel me, man? You feel me? It was a totally different thing, a totally different commitment, man. They were doing it for a different reason. You feel me, man?
We was just at me and him just at a KRS-One concert. This dude was up there in some Dickie pants, a shirt that said KRS-One. He didn't have a watch. He didn't have he had nothing on. All he had was a microphone. And
some of the most profound.
He killed it. No dancers, no background, no nothing.
I became a historian. I became an African American historian messing around with KRS. What? His My Philosophy video, that was the first time I saw Malcolm X.
I'm getting chills.
And I was saying,
and he didn't have
who is this?
You had to go look stuff up to see what he was talking about.
Who is this dude pointing at the back of this dude's video that he is so in love with? That's what rap got to turn. That's what rap's supposed to be. Class. You feel me, man? Class. I hope I got me a couple students out there, man. You know what I mean? And the next generation of y'all, man, make sure you got you a class, man, and somebody looking up to you and want to learn something. Send them go look something up.
You said we got a caller? All right, caller, hurry up.
Gotta be quick.
You gotta be quick.
Oh, good. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, Pastor Troy, man. Hey, I definitely want to say the move that needs to be made right now for artists, man, I think is definitely available in the Web3 space, being able to operate with the independent artists and eliminating the middleman and going directly to their fan base.
Man, I missed the end of it. What you saying about the fan base?
So in the Web3 space, when you're working with crypto and you're working with the blockchain, the artists are eliminating the middleman and the label. They work directly with their fan base.
Yeah. So you say that you want to see artists work directly with their fan base more than with the labels?
Well, absolutely. If they work with their fan base, they don't have to. They definitely don't need the label.
Yeah, it's
if they get a fan.
Yeah, it's changed a lot of late. You know what I mean? But that whole iTunes, Spotify, all these ways, other ways of doing it, really came into play. You feel me, man? Like, I'm one of the pioneers of the independent game, of being able to do my own thing and distribute my own music, but everybody just ain't had that luxury. Now it's becoming more available, man, and hopefully it'll be the beginning of something new with these artists, man. I appreciate you calling in and your question, brother.
Not a problem.
You come right here, man. We can take a picture before we leave.
What's up?
Hey, man, we appreciate all y'all, man. I'm on the campaign trail.
My man got to get ready to get up out of here.
Take a quick picture, man.
I understand.
Just take a break, get our picture. Yeah, you get our picture.
It's not like folks don't know.
Good work.
Come on, B-Mark. Good work,
Good work.
You gotta change the flash now.
All right, 1, 2. Wait a minute, hold on. 4. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right, take them down. Y'all can move and shit. Just one slow. All right, one more. Yeah, got it. Cool.
Hey, God bless y'all, man. Y'all call me for anything.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, man. Those person not picking the phone call.
Man, let's go.
You know who you had, man. You know who you had on the deck.
And thanks for not telling any bad stories about it.
We appreciate you, brother. Real talk.
Jesse Bingham, what up, bro? I see you tuning in.
That was refreshing, man. Man, hey, let's make sure they got my lines too.
All right, we'll do.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right now. Hey, man, and I didn't get to say this while he was up here to show you how much he's in the community, bro. The dude actually played at a birthday party. I think it was out in Stone Mountain or somewhere. I got there late. So I actually missed the performance. But he performed at a birthday party. I'm saying he's really approachable and in the community, you know, to do whatever he can, you know what I'm saying? So
That's what's up.
no shout out to him, bro.
That's his upbringing, man.
That was
It's like
dope.
he's always been like that.
Upbringing means so much, don't it?
That was dope. Yeah.
Where we going now, Teasy?
Well, actually, yeah, I mean, if you want to stay with this, because I'm sure we still got some stuff in regards to, but there's a lot of stuff in the news. I'm sure Mr. Marsh got something that we can talk about. What you got?
Listen, we touched on, listen, we got the ongoing stuff with the school shooting. The biggest thing for us locally is going to be this Warnock, Herschel Walker thing. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of Warnock because I feel like their best bet is just to let Herschel Walker keep talking.
Yeah.
Like, he is going to dig himself a hole.
Hey, man, that's a very good point.
Okay, like sometimes your best bet is I don't have to say anything. Go
Just
ahead
like
and go.
Trump, he's just like Trump. All
Listen,
Trump had to do is
go
shut the fuck
listen
up.
to what he's saying, and you tell me he's a better choice than me.
Oh, no. Go try and make out what
Right,
he's
try to
saying.
make sense of what he's talking about. I'm flabbergasted. But listen, that, not to be too deep on it, that tells you what people think about. He is a large group of people's representation of the black community. So I don't know how y'all feel about that, but you know what I'm saying? I would be bothered by that, and I don't understand.
But you know, it goes back, man, to the fact of, you know, how we see people on TV and TV only. You know what I mean? You learn, you think you know people. Right. Because you've seen them grow up, you've seen them do this, you know what I mean? So you think you know them. But, you know, I've been reading a lot about Herschel, and the most consistent thing I've seen and heard is that's who he's always been. This didn't just start.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you only saw him as, number 34.
Right.
You saw him as a national championship running back. You saw him as a Heisman Trophy winner. You know what I mean? This is all you saw, so you had this perception.
And the crazy thing is,
this is who he is.
And they've always limited what he says. And
but the crazy thing is, he's always. I mean, he's basically told us who he was.
Well, he's Donald Trump's one black friend.
L-O, Dwayne, not L-O-W, by the way.
I'm talking about back when he was having interviews and he was talking about how his whole Heisman Trophy year, he doesn't remember the whole season.
Right.
He talked about when he came out of high school, he wanted to be an Army Ranger because he wanted to kill people.
Right.
He didn't think about going to college. He wanted to go in the Army just so that he could kill people. This stuff was said, man, when Herschel was 18, 19 years old.
So it's not new.
Yeah, but as Angelo was saying, there's so many people that just remember him as the guy that ran the ball for
Herschel
Georgia,
left, Herschel right.
and the dude that got traded and got 15, who was with Dallas and got traded, and Dallas got 15 picks for him.
Right.
This is all they remember. This is the part they remember. But the dude has always been off, different, special. I mean, he's special in a lot of different ways, but
a few cars short of a full deck.
Yeah, I mean, he come from this country town, and he's always been catered to his whole life. You know what I mean? And you go to UGA, let's face it, it's predominantly white. You know what I mean? And it's a whole bunch of money out there. So this what was his surroundings. You know what I mean?
And Herschel's always been under.
Herschel lives by the motto of I'm not black, I'm OJ. You know what I mean? That's you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, he said there are no racists in America unless they're 185 years old. He has said that because nowadays they have YouTube, they've got, Facebook, so they aren't racist anymore. So it's not even like it even goes deeper than than what you said. Like it gets worse. It gets worse.
Yeah, man. So
bottom line about that topic, man. Get registered.
Yes.
Vote.
Yeah.
And
like my man Tyler said, and the moral to the story is, go vote.
Right. like to touch on you, like you said a minute ago, and he was talking about, I don't care how you vote, just get registered to vote. And when people ask me, because I'm big on getting people registered, and they're like, well, you only mean to vote the way you vote. And I'm like, no, that's how confident I am in the side that I chose, is that when no matter if we register enough people, my side is going to win because my side is doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care if you don't vote the same way I do. Like we're gonna overcome.
Yeah. If you register, it gives you more incentive to actually
you're invested in
listen and research. And if you do that, you'll understand what we're talking about. You will understand exactly what we're saying up here.
But you did bring up something else, B. Marsh. I want to turn to ask a cop about, man. So over this last couple of weeks, man, this I don't know, Uvalde. They've been hyping this up even more so here lately. They showed the cop, using hand sanitizer. Guy checking his telephone and all these things. And I heard a description today that was wild. They said there was more police officers standing by at this school for this one guy than it was at the entire Alamo.
Yes. Yes.
It's funny, but it ain't funny. I think really with that shows that training plays a lot to do with that. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are getting into law enforcement for the wrong reasons. They dress up to play the part, but the hard pump straight Kool-Aid. I mean, that was just cowardice. Anybody that goes to any modern training knows you press the fight. And those guys knew to press the fight, and nobody grabbed the torch and said, okay, let's do this. And that's what it comes down to. You've been in situations when you hit a warrant or, you get, and the bullets coming at you and you feeling them actually go by your head. And that's when you got to grab your nutsack and just say, it's time.
Let me ask you this, ask a cop. Some people just are not meant to be.
I agree.
So if you have all the because I'm at the beginning when we started talking about this stuff, I was all about training. But some people can get all the training in the world if they're not meant to be. They're just not meant to be.
No, honestly, I disagree with that because I think what the way we do it now, police officers have to be a cross-section of society. Police officers have to be somebody that doesn't want to use violence. Now, sometimes it shows through, and I think there needs to be more tactically trained officers in certain positions, and you might, the way we do it in Atlanta, the way we've done it is always have a certain officers working each shift that are the tactical response until SWAT got there. That was the reason Apex came about, and you have the, different officers that train with SWAT, so they're in those zones and they respond until SWAT can get there. They hold down the fort. A lot of these other, because people think it's, it's like the A side, the B side, and the C side are, and law enforcement, it's unfortunate, but when things like this happen, you realize there's levels of shit. But I don't agree with, because if you think about it, if you got a bunch of people, SWAT types into law enforcement, that's what you used to have. And that's when you had your Rodney King beat downs on the regular. So you don't want that. I just think that we have to be more honest. And I say it for the first time, there has to be some, I'm not saying gun control, but there has to be some deeper requirements just on receiving a gun. I think because think about it, it's gonna piss some people off, and I know when I get ready to get my new rifle, I want it when I want it. But the reality of it is they need to have a cooling off period. Or they need to, and this is where HIPAA and everything comes into it, we need to have a database when somebody is batshit ass crazy, or when, just like this, and think about just about every major incident that's happened in America in recent times, somebody notified law enforcement. And the dissemination of that information falls short. The FBI fucked up on this one. State authorities, whoever does the training, that chief. But it comes to a point where you gotta, everybody talks about when there's a police shooting, oh, you gotta do this. But in this case, I really think some of those officers need to be charged. If the training was what it is everywhere, what it is in Georgia, that was straight cowardice. You press the fight. The first two, when you get two, like say we all roll up at the same time, you might, or I might, well, I'm the ranking person, so I would hold, okay, this is who went in and what time they went in, and I'm starting that law. Mm-hmm. You guys are pressing fight. You're going directly to where that shit is, bypassing doors, and that time you're going to where the gunfire is, so you're not doing the static. What you saw with that was a static search. They were going and checking doors and clearing rooms. No, you know where the shit is, you're supposed to go dynamic. And the dynamic is when you just hit it. Right. You press the fight. Huh? How long did it take that? Oh, we were there. Yeah, if that was APD, I wouldn't even say APD. If that was any department in the metro Atlanta area, that fucker would have been dead quick. Or you might not want to hit, and this is the part people got to understand. When they hit that door, they may have been some other people dropped too. And that backdrop in that room, in that shootout, would have been children. So you got to be prepared for that side of it too. And I think a lot of officers that day, because they're not in Atlanta, they're not in the area where there's gunshots, they're not in the area where they're used to handling people with guns. A lot of those guys are thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna be able to get the deer stand I want this week for hunting season, and they were in white. They went in, they weren't in code red, they were in white. Those officers were like,
when that dude shot at them officers, right here, when you shot at us, we coming.
Oh yeah.
Coming.
And you saw put us what? There's no time on the shootout.
Ran and hid.
But
no, sir.
Checking your cell phone.
There's no time on the shootout.
You wash your hand.
You wash your hand.
What the world?
To me, and these guys went through training with the same training that the other guys that was actually doing what they were supposed to do.
But see where it comes in. There's like, and Chessie Puller said it in the Marine Corps. He's a great Marine. Every battle's made by two people, one or two people. Somebody grabs that moment and he grabs it and charges. And so I think in that situation, they're not APD that has a SWAT team that stands alone and that's all my guy SWAT does. That's all they do is train to be SWAT. Other departments, this guy went to SWAT training 8 years ago and they get that once or bi-monthly training that they do as a team together. Now you're expecting these guys to go. And unless you've been in the military, very few officers even draw their guns. But that's the average of how many times you draw your gun with APD?
I draw mine several times, but less than 10, maybe.
No, I'm talking about on every couple nigga. Bruh, I worked with you.
Oh, well, I mean, I thought you about
no, just beat. No, on call, just in general.
On the regular beat,
yeah,
you don't do it.
No, I'm talking about when we're in GI squad. How many times did you draw your gun again?
I don't know.
Countless. You couldn't count
them,
right?
I don't know.
Okay, but see, that's my point. But you're talking about these smaller jurisdictions, and everybody's trying to have them react like there's somebody that deals with death every day. There's wolves, there's sheepdogs, and there's sheep. And the majority of people are sheep. And when you're trying to fill a 2,000-man department, you have some sheep masquerading as sheepdogs. That's the realest way to put it. So you can't expect, when everybody can see what's happening now, it's the same thing that happened to teachers years ago. When people said, oh shit, if you can't do nothing else, fuck, teach for a couple years, figure that shit out. And what happened when the economy crashed dive, a lot of people, shit, police are hiring, I'm gonna be a police officer. And they didn't fall in love with policing. They didn't get like we got, your dick got hard when you're on a hot call, and you're excited about it. These guys are excited about the extra jobs. Officers are making $65, $70 an hour now on side jobs. Go through any police department's parking lot and you're gonna see more charges and challenges driven by young police officers than you do running the street with thugs now. And that's just real. But what you're getting with this, when you demand, I want 3,000 officers or I want 2,000 officers, what you're getting is a bunch of sheep in uniform. You saw it during the protests. You had the dogs that were there, and then you had the other officers that was glad the dogs were there. And the same thing happens, what you had there was a bunch of sheep waiting for a dog to come up. I guarantee there's somebody in that department that everybody, waiting till Josh gets here. He ain't here yet, he's clearing a call, he's on his way. God damn, he's on his way, And that's what it was. And that's not saying that you gotta be a sheepdog in every situation. But when you're forcing numbers for sheer fact, like teaching, you got some teachers that teach the one side of the classroom, or some that just don't teach and hand out because, hey, I got 3 more years before they catch on to me. So it's the same in law enforcement. And when you do things recklessly, like every complaint, you're automatically suspending an officer when you viewed the tape. And that's what people aren't realizing. The sad thing about Mayor Bottoms and what she did to the fugitive unit during is that these are some of the flagship, there's only one unit considered more tactical on the Atlanta Police Department than fugitive, the unit that she just shitted on. It's SWAT. So if you're a beat officer, and this is a unit everybody wants to get in, take home car, built-in overtime, you get to do cool shit, you get to go all over the state, tracking down the biggest and the baddest. That's what everybody says they want to do. But how many officers actually put into it? I commanded that unit for 10 years. Very few actually put in for it. Everybody says, oh yeah, but they don't put in for it. And so when you do that and you put those officers out and you shit on them the way she did and the way the DA at the time did, Paul Howard, I want to make sure everybody knows Paul Howard, not the current DA. And then you have a chief that makes a political decision and didn't step aside. There's sometimes, as a chief, you'd like to see them instead of being their politically pointed position, but I guarantee Chief Bell wouldn't have made that decision.
Guarantee that.
And so that's the thing that goes back to you get what you ask for. And so until people start not backing the blue blindly, I'm not saying that. I don't want it to go back to the thin blue line, but people have to be honest and assess every time there's a shooting situation, assess it first. But the departments need to be transparent enough to know everybody black's not a thug. And I think black mayors Mayor Bottoms is more guilty of that than anybody else. You'd have thought she was a grand dragon of the Ku Klux Klan. The way she's, oh my God, they'll riot, they'll show out. And that's what that really was about. And the city gonna have to write a check on that one.
Big time.
They're gonna ride.
I always said she tried to run this city like a mom as opposed to being the mayor.
Yeah.
You can't be a mama and be the mayor. So real quick, what about they announced the autopsy on all the kid that got shot. They counted 46 bullets, 46 entry wounds. I think 4 to 8 of them were in the back. The rest of them they said were mostly on the side. And you got a lot of head shots, face shots, all that stuff. Do you still feel that there's gonna be some officers it's gonna be a justified shooting for some of them?
Yeah, well, yeah, some of them I think so. If it goes, see, I haven't seen the officers that were right there. The officers that may be justified was when he first turned. They're going to have to articulate why they did it. Did they feel they had an ability, opportunity, and jeopardy? Now, when you're that 8th and 7th officer that was just being me too, that goes back to what I was saying. You got a sheep trying to be a sheepdog, and he, oh shit, shoot, boom, boom, boom. Why'd you shoot? There you go. He just said a guy in the audience said because everybody else shot, and that's what you get. And a lot of these shootings, that's what you get. So I do think if the forensic allows for it, people to understand the way that works. If you're, I don't know the distance, but if then and what caliber weapons and the rounds they use, but if the entry wounds, none of the bullets stuck, okay, they're going to go to the ground. If they can dig those bullets out of the ground, that's going to say, okay, this guy was on the ground when you fired your shot, and they're going to dig that bullet out. It's going to take a while. You're going to have to wait. They're going to put it through the process, and the ballistics are going to show, okay, that came from Jae Tea's gun. Jae Tea's going to have to come in there and ask a whole list of questions. What did you see? Now, if he holds on like all those officers lied and said, I had ability, opportunity, and jeopardy, those officers said it because they know that's what the first officer said. So they're going to go back to each individual statement, and those officers, they're going to put the ballistics from that officer's gun up against what he said. And if it doesn't match up, you may not have a murder charge, but you're going to have ag assault maybe. You might have definite violation of oath of office because you're trained to serve and protect, and they obviously weren't protected. And where the murder charge may come in, if they, well, I can't say hope, because if they're guilty, and I hope they do go to jail. If the bullet that the forensics say actually killed him turns out to be for one of those bullets that's in the ground, that's a murder charge.
Well, they got, I know it was 3 officers per the video. I counted 3 officers that definitely shot him while he was on the ground.
Yeah. And they better hope to hell that that guy, when he first turned, wasn't one of the ones that caught him in the side, and if those wasn't a fatal wound, and the coroner says he died when he hit the ground, yeah, there could very well be murder charges.
That'd be interesting if they actually filed murder charge on any of them. That's definitely gonna be interesting. So now, from the police standpoint, they claim there was a shot from the window. Mm-hmm. He jumped out the car while it was still moving, took off running. So is it your position, just not in defense, but position of, from a police standpoint, him turning around is going to be enough to justify them shooting, although because all I've read so far is they said he turned around. You know, he stopped and turned, but they can't. I didn't hear one of them say they saw anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Well, that goes with the Supreme Court has said what a reasonable, prudent officer in that same position, what would he do? They're not talking, the Supreme Court has allowed for officers because of stress and the pressure they're under. They don't go back and go by what the Monday morning quarterback, what the actual facts, that he didn't have a gun. They go to that situation. Now, the officers that are back here, like I said, from once I saw the film, those officers are not going to be able to justify their actions. So they should be charged. But those first 2 officers, if a person fires a weapon out of a car, if that in fact happens, I'm just going by what that, you're going to listen to the radio transmissions. If somebody come across the air and say he's firing, that's going to be part of the investigation. if he did in fact fire, and you're one of the first 2 officers and you're running behind him, and this is a gentleman after a chase that shot at officers, they're thinking, I got an armed guy that's running. They don't know if he tucked into the waistband. If he's running like this, they don't know if it's in his hand. Now that's when you got to go to the time of day. It was nighttime. They have not came up with night vision goggles for patrolmen yet. Okay, so when they're running, and this is a part that's bad. It's going to come to body cams. Okay, what was there? 8 officers yelling at the same time. Turn around, stand, freeze. Turn around, freeze. And you got to realize every officer that makes that command, when you're in that, you get tunnel vision. You're not hearing what those other people are saying. You're hearing what you say. Anytime you're involved in a shootout, you may shoot 7 times. How many times you shoot? 3? Because it's an involuntary. Once your finger starts going back and adrenaline's flowing, you can breathe on a trigger once the hammer's got back and you're catching it every time. It just takes that to fire a weapon. That's how you get so many shots fired. Those of y'all that have gone to a firing range and you want to empty a clip, you know how quick you can empty a clip. People that have never gone to a range aren't going to understand that. Mm-hmm. But when you get 8 people, you got to realize those are 8 people that saw something different. You had sheep, just like those guys in Texas that didn't do the right thing. These guys are scared shitless. There's no company that makes and manufactures balls. So when officers come in, they're not getting a heavy-duty set of balls to weather everything. They have the same fight or flight syndrome as anybody else. Same as a citizen, same as you. When you pull up and you got that gun and you say, shit, let somebody come up my house. But when you come to your house and the door is open, you know how many people get back in their car and dial 911? And it's common sense, but it's also smart. They say, hey, look, I make $200,000. Is it really worth me going in there and finding somebody in my house and getting shot wherever they're killing them? And then that moment may come over them and say, there ain't nothing in my house worth taking somebody's life. Same thing happens to police officers. And we're in a smaller jurisdiction, I'll move on real quick, but if you're in a smaller jurisdiction, you're not gonna get the training, and you may have 1 shooting in a year, and that's somebody that shot a cat out of a tree. So now you're putting all that in a situation, and these people, look at all the gear those guys had. Not one of them wanted to use any of them. They had tactical vests, shields, nobody said, moving. And that's what should have did. You got grab, shit, moving. And they should have got stacked on this side, and somebody should have stacked on this side, and they should have went down. And they should have had somebody right here covering each door as they went past, because you're moving at a rapid pace. All you're having officers do is hold that door. They're not gonna clear it. Everybody's going to where the fight is, but they'll leave the people in the rear as they come up or holding the doors in case there's a second shooter or something else is going on. So there's so much that goes into that. But realize, back here police, Atlanta Police has a Citizens Academy. Some of y'all that have the time and the money, it doesn't cost anything, but you have to have money to go to it because you're actually giving up a lot of your time. Go to it and you'll get more of an idea. I think if you, a community organization and you want to go to the shoot, don't shoot, pressure the chief, guaranteed they'll let you go to the same section. And every single person I know that's gone to the shoot, don't shoot, they're shooting the babies, they're shooting the bystanders. One lady said, hell, I heard a shot, I shot everybody. And these are real visceral responses because it's so realistic. So that's all I got on that.
Okay. Well, I was just curious of the viewpoint, but did y'all see, just on a just question, guy at the gas station that dude was beating up his girlfriend in the car?
Oh man.
He went to try to help the girlfriend out, and dude shot and killed a man at the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that too?
Yeah.
Like, you got a boy, you can't.
That's why I had to take that app off my phone. It's just some crazy stuff coming across, bro.
She was getting beat up in the car.
And it's a problem.
He went to try to help her.
Yeah. And the guy killed him.
Dude shot and killed him right there.
And you know,
drove off.
I'll say this, and this is probably the first show I haven't gotten any bad hits on, but I'm about to get one. Now, everybody's outraged by that, but you got to realize, officers, some of which are sheep, They're highly trained sheep, but they're still sheep. That's the same person they got to deal with on a traffic stop. That's not saying, it's not trying to justify anything. I'm just letting you know the mindset of officers, because what happens, I think, in society as a whole, everybody watches the latest cop movie and they think that's all cops. Everybody thinks every cop's ready to shoot. No, most cops don't want no part of a confrontation. If you look, next time watch, if you knew the calls officers are going on, there's some officers, like I was when I was a beat officer, and it's not something, but I enjoyed it. I would leave my lights off and go all the way to a robbery call. You have some officers now, I witnessed, because my last assignment was in Zone 1. They get a robbery call and they turn their lights on when they leave the precinct. That's not to get there faster. That's to make sure that robber's not there when they get there. Right. That's the reality of it. And that's what people got to look at. I think what happens in America, people have this misconception of what police officers are. They think every cop is training day. They think every cop is their favorite cop from their favorite show, or they think every cop is Vic Mackey from S.H.I.E.L.D.
I just realized why you get vilified. I just realized, because you said this is not to justify it, but then you justified it.
No, it's not justifying. I just want people to see what police officers' mindset is, and when they're dealing with police officers, when you're on a traffic stop, and you know you ran that red.
But that's usually why they get off. That's usually the justification of why they end up getting off, is because these are the type of people we have to deal with. I'm not saying, I don't think you recognize that.
No. Okay.
It's like saying,
you gotta think about what you said. That's not what they're getting. He gets vilified because he tells the truth. They're getting off because of based on what he's saying.
Fear the black man.
It ain't like he getting them off. They're getting off based on how the rules and regulations are written.
You should say, man, let me tell you how this stuff go. Don't say I'm not saying.
No, because I don't want to say it like that, because then I'd be doing a disservice. Because if I put it out there like that, people are going to not look at the reality of a situation. They're going to look at everything as a setup. There's sometimes that it's just bad tactics. But I've policed young officers. My whole career was high speed. My last 2 years was dealing with young millennials. But I enjoyed the hell out of it because there's a lot of training. But I also realized there's a lot of people in law enforcement that shouldn't have a badge and a gun. There's a lot of people in law enforcement that don't want a badge and a gun. There's a lot of people in law enforcement in Atlanta that want to work the extra jobs. Now, I'm going to be piss a lot of people off with that statement. But everybody that's a veteran, or a lot of the young officers will tell you, they don't want to work. They want the extra job. I think extra jobs, hear this, new chief, extra jobs should be tied to performance. If you got an officer that's not performing, that's not hitting the goals, he shouldn't be allowed to work extra jobs. I guarantee you, if you do that, the performance in Atlanta would increase.
That for Atlanta, you're right. But some of them small hillbilly towns, they ain't a whole lot of extra jobs to work. They're just,
well,
a lot of them jokers are just nerds. Jokers who get bullied. You know what I mean? Now they got a gun and a badge, and now all of a sudden, you know, they Billy bad. And I
totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Until something goes wrong, you know what I mean? And they actually have to be a police officer and then they
either bitch up. No, it either happens. No, there's two sides of that coin. Either they're ultra aggressive or they bitch up. And a lot of times people don't understand aggression is out of fear. A lot of times aggression isn't he's super cop and he's clearing the wall. Oh, bam, bam, double tap. A lot of time is, oh shit, I gotta clear it. I gotta clear it because everybody else is in here.
You don't think some aggression is because some motherfuckers are just assholes?
Oh yeah, yes, I say that, but most people that are assholes, that are racist, that are bullies are actually cowards. I've been in a lot of hairy situations, and some of the officers that everybody thought was super cop or robo cop, bitched up when it came to actually putting hands on people. You know what I'm talking about?
Seen it firsthand.
Some of the biggest dudes, and you think, oh my God, he's gonna tear his arms out the socket. and that joker was, oh God, ooh, woo, woo, oh shit, or get hit on the wrist by a nightstick and just stop in the middle of the fight, or stand up. Or you go to scenes and you rush in to help officers and you run by 2 officers that are standing there watching. So that's the reality of what you see in law enforcement. It's not what's on TV.
That's what you saw in Uvalde, which is how you said it, Uvalde.
Yeah.
That's what you saw in Uvalde. Those are the kind of people who were there.
Straight Kool-Aid.
Straight Kool-Aid.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. They just ain't it. They had whatever training was there. They just ain't it. Some people take a police job because it's the best job going, which is sad, and some, especially like you said, in these rural areas, it's sad. But you know that is the truth. You know, no different than when I was in corrections. That
Ride around and get free coffee.
That was the best job in North Carolina. Was you're able to be a cop, not get shot at. You might get shanked, but you're not gonna get shot at. And we had some of those in there. That badge was this big, but yet they was walking around like the badge, like they had a Superman badge on their chest. Oh, and breaking news, man. A Law and Order set today. Somebody got shot and killed on a Law and Order set today.
Yep. I didn't hear you.
Law and Order? Yeah. Criminal, the new one. I forgot the name of it. But yeah, a guy that was on set, he's actually he was in charge of the parking enforcement. Got shot today and killed on set of Law and Order.
Was it accidental? Shoot him at somebody?
Nah, suspect still at large.
Oh my God! Yeah,
suspect still. A dude drove up, opened up the door, and blasted him.
Thank you.
Well, that's America. That's what it's coming down to.
What's up, Thornton? James Thornton said some of these cats be lying on their psych tests.
Nah, well, it's like this.
It's kind of hard to,
what people don't realize. And I'll just say this:
crazy people smart.
If you don't have mental issues going in, by the time you come out, you will.
Yeah, crazy.
I'm just gonna be real because
crazy people are actually pretty
you're doing
smart.
items. You're doing things that goes against human nature. You're having to use force. If you're in the wrong, I can't say wrong zone because I want to insult it because there's a lot of good people in zone 1. But you're in certain zones in the city of Atlanta, it's not if, it's when you're going to use force every single day. And force isn't deadly all the time. If you're just grabbing him and he's shoplifted out of, like if we did a scenario now, there's nobody at this table, and I still bench press 300. There's nobody at this table I couldn't get out of that chair unless they wanted to get up, without ratcheting up one level above the force they use. And nobody here is small, and I done seen him fight. So Low don't want to get out that chair, I'm gonna have to bust him in the head. It ain't gonna be pretty, but to get Low out that chair, that's what I'm gonna have to do. And so on down the line. And that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. And people, I think that now it's gone, and the thing I hate about America, and it's a black, white, yellow, green, every color thing. Everybody wants so much to be the next hot thing on media, and it came out, hate police, hate police, hate police, hate police, police are all brutal, police are all brutal. And so now everybody wants to say it because we haven't had the occasion to do it in a while. But I used to ask people, why did they buy a gun? And everybody's had the same answer, 100%. 100%. Take that same mentality and put it on the police force and what they go through. I'm not saying nobody's justified when you do a wrong shooting. Go to jail, that's what you should do. But to think that these guys are gonna act a certain way, they're traumatized. When you have a shooting situation, when somebody loses their life and you're a supervisor, or if you took part in the shooting, and that next day when you had to go in a roll call and address people, and you see the look in these young men and women's face, and it's not one like everybody thinks, shit, yeah, man, smoke that motherfucker. It's one of utterly like, I don't want to do this shit. And after shootings, there's always people that turn in their guns when an officer gets shot. Anytime an officer gets shot, there's people that turn in their gun and badge the next day. Because you know what people say? I love these extras out, but this shit just got too real.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I believe that all day. I mean, again, some people just ain't it. That's what I said earlier. Some people just ain't it. You think you are until shit hit the fan. I don't care how much training you had. There's one thing to train against them pop-up dummies and running around pallets and running around sandbags and going up on the barbed wire is no different than the military. But when shit hits the fan, you know, I don't care how much training you had, the real you will come out. And now I'm not saying that happens for everyone, but let's face it, some people think they are what they're not.
We know someone in common that I could say, I'm not going to say a name. We know someone in common right now that became an officer in the time that we've known him that has no business carrying a gun, being an officer. Okay, none whatsoever.
We know a whole lot of people that has no business carrying a gun as a person.
But that's true. But yeah, but became, and it's that you can, and you know this person, and you know it's fear, and you know that's what it is.
But I'll say this to some of those officers' defense. It's like, I've seen some officers, and I'm not going to name their names, but some of the best officers were dealing with the community, but I knew those officers wouldn't bust a grape. And everybody knew you better get there quick if certain individuals on the call, because they're going to need that help. People don't know the amount of officers that get disarmed.
Community
officers that tote ass whoopings. 5'9", 63 normally means an officer's getting it. And it's not always shots fired.
And a lot of times you know it when the officer has a routine traffic stop and they identify, you know, who they stop. You know what I mean? Because they're hoping somebody comes by or they're going on a certain call. You know what I mean? And they
jumping calls.
Hey, and they make sure
to get some help.
Hey, I just stopped a car, got 4 black males in it. You know? Hey,
4 big black males.
That means if you close by, please swing by here.
And there's some people, and you know what I'm talking about. There's some people when they got a call, you just knew to levitate that way because you know they're gonna need it.
Officer friendlies. Remember him in school?
Too funny.
Big fat cop.
Yep.
Hey, prayers and condolences, man, to our guy DJ. Fallen soldier, flag football, passed away yesterday. Yeah. So guess what, man?
Well, update real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
I told y'all about Nard a few weeks ago, man. Comedian Nard hosting. I went to go visit him again yesterday. You know, he went from not knowing if he was gonna make it through the week till, you know, he came off his ventilator a few days ago. Went by there, man. He can talk a little bit. He struggles to talk, but he can talk a little bit.
Nice.
He was able to say my name, ask me what was going on. You know what I mean? So everybody was praying for Nard, man. He's fighting through, and I was so happy to see him yesterday. They transferred him today from ICU to a regular room. So you know, people say prayers don't matter, boy. That prayer still, you know, prayers still count, man. God's still in the blessing business. And like Pastor Troy said, if you don't believe in something, you don't believe in God, you gotta believe in something.
Yeah. Keep them going. Keep the prayers
you gotta
going.
believe in something. But just want to give an update on Nard, man. I know a lot of folks been asking me about it. So yeah, he's doing better. He's getting stronger and stronger every day. Now all he gotta do is start eating food again, man. And I was excited to see him yesterday. So, what were you about to say?
I was gonna say, guess what, y'all?
What you got?
We actually gonna get up out of here a little early.
Well, midnight.
Hey, that's rare.
As long as this top 5 don't take 45 minutes.
I was gonna say, where's the top 5?
It's gonna be a quick top 5.
As long as this top 5 don't take 45 minutes, man, we're gonna be up out of here early.
Before I do my top 5, man, I'm gonna do a quick Black History moment, man. I want to shout out Sandra Douglas Morgan, the first Black female president of an NFL franchise, the Oakland Raiders. So shout out to Sandra Douglas Morgan.
Las Vegas.
And then I want to shout out Mike Greer. Mike Greer is the first Black GM of the National Hockey, so it was the National Hockey League.
Yep.
San Jose Sharks. Mike Greer. That's big. Black female. I mean, those are 2 monumental accomplishments.
Yep.
So I wanted to shout them out, man, for the Black History moment. So our top 5, no, number 1 fantasy, but I think we did baseball before. We did baseball before, did we, Dwayne? I believe we did. So
yeah, greatest players. We did greatest players.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She had sent me a suggestion for since it's All-Star time. So here go a top 5. Top 5, and I had this just in case Troy was here, but he left. But top 5 female rappers of all time. Oof. Top 5 female rappers of all time.
I'll go first.
I'll go.
No, you want to go first? I want to go.
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion.
Wait. Hold on. Let people that we not the top 5 best looking female rappers.
No, listen. Whatever your criteria needs to be, let it be.
No, MC Light. And see the rap. I'm just going purely by just music, not meaning anything behind it. But I like. She has some very good music.
Look, hey, they give you a little bit more time to think. And we said something about Future earlier. I was going to say, have y'all seen Sierra's new video? Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna check it
out. Let's see. No, I'm having a brain fart. Female rappers. I like female rappers, but MC Light, Salt and Pepper.
Who you think was the best rapper between Salt and Pepper?
Damn.
Just curious.
It's a good one.
They just look good. Now, after that, I just have to say,
damn,
Roxanne.
Wow. He said wow. All right, go. Bye-bye.
Let's see who else. Let's see.
Got one more.
I'll go with.
You said you're ready.
Lil
to
Kim.
Lil Kim. All right.
Lil
What you got, Dwayne?
Lauryn Hill.
Yes.
Mia X.
Okay, Mia X. Surprised you know about Mia X.
Yeah. I like Foxy Brown better than I like Lil Kim, so I'll go Foxy Brown.
Okay.
Eve, and last but not least, the greatest female rapper of all time, Missy Elliott.
Okay.
Yeah, Missy Elliott. I forgot Missy Elliott.
Wow. What you got?
Shit, he took all mine down.
If they the same, they the same.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Lady Rage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else? Shauna from DTP.
Okay.
She had lyrics. Trina.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know.
No, Trina.
Patra.
You know,
Patra.
shit.
She was fine, but she could flow.
She was fine too, but who else? I guess I'm gonna go with Missy too, of course, because Missy was definitely hard. And do Erykah Badu rap? Do she? Or she's
just beautiful with a beautiful voice.
She just vibes. So I said I'm gonna pick her because she vibed out.
She more like spoken word with vibe.
D Mark, what you got?
Lauryn Hill, the greatest of all time. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Missy. I'm gonna take MC Light. I'm gonna take Nicki Minaj because I
she can
like
flow.
looking at her, and she's crazy, and I like crazy women. And she's sort of like a Slick Rick, sort of. You know, I like her voices and her face. I like. And my number one is a young lady named Science, who y'all have never heard of, but back in the day, she used to rap at some local stuff at on the campus at Auburn University, and now she's waiting at home when I get there. My wife has a mixtape.
When you were going.
That's right. I don't know about the rest of y'all. My wife has a mixtape, and my wife can rhyme. Okay, so my favorite MC, because I know you watching, baby. Used to be under the stage name Science, because she dropped Science. But yeah, my old lady can rhyme, so that's my number one.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Your old lady got bars.
Well, you got some points on that one, boy.
I come in one day and
well, you went in for a dunk on that one, didn't you?
She was playing some stuff, and I was like, "Who is this?" She was like, "Baby, listen carefully." And I was like, "Is that you?" She was like, "Yeah, this is some of our unfinished stuff that we never got to fit in." I was like, "That's not bad, baby. I need that." She won't let me have it though. She got her own master. She won't let me have it on my phone.
She ain't crazy.
No.
She ain't
I'll
crazy.
put it out.
Okay. You got JT.
I like that. I like when she did that. Lil' Kim. Eve.
I forgot about Eve, yeah.
Yo-Yo.
Play with my yo-yo.
Queen Latifah. And MC Light. That Trina thing, man, let me tell you something. I've been trying to figure out what the fuss is about Trina. I just don't get it. I've been trying to figure it out. She bottom heavy. I mean, I just been trying to figure it out. Especially looking at on Love and Hip Hop, she really thinks that she is the baddest chick. I mean, she really wears that, and I just been trying to figure it out. So that's why I laugh. That's why I laugh. I'm like, hey, Trina, those are my five.
All right. Gino got MC Light, Nicki Minaj, Eve, Missy Elliott, and Mulatto.
Oh yeah, Mulatto. Yeah. I've got him on Mulatto.
Yeah, Mulatto.
Lena got
Mulatto,
Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah. I wonder why nobody said the Queen. Cardi B, Lil' Kim, Nicki Minaj.
Cardi B is an honorable mention for me, real talk.
Number one got MC Light, Queen Latifah, The Real Roxanne, Mary J, and Missy Elliott. Left Eye Can Flow.
Oh,
I'm gonna say Cardi B's like maybe my honorable mention, but I'm gonna tell you, I had more respect for Cardi B when I went back and heard some of her old stuff.
Oh, bro.
Now her old stuff, man, she could truly flow. I was like, that's Cardi B.
She was my honorable.
Megan Thee Stallion can flow. Her
She was my honorable mention.
It's on point. No, for real.
Yeah, I can't get past. But Cardi B, because of how she parlayed love and hip hop into a career.
Boy, didn't she though?
Yeah, she
That's why I got mad respect
for them shows that took advantage of that
being
platform.
on the show.
Yeah,
I mean, the rest of them would just sit there.
She was just some old wild. She was marrying somebody in prison.
Right.
Man, T was. I was like, who is this? You know what I mean? And all of a sudden,
bam,
boy, it blew up.
Yes.
Big facts.
I'm surprised Remy Ma didn't, but that's probably because we're not up north, so there's a line, and some local.
Remy Ma,
listen, the Brat has a local connection.
Yeah, the Brat.
That was mine. He just took one of mine. I'm gonna start off with the Brat, but I was waiting, but
Oh, I cannot believe it.
Yeah, I was gonna start off with the Brat. I got Queen Latifah. I got Missy, she from VA, so gotta represent VA. It's a tough one now, because Lauryn Hill, you ain't lying, man. Lauryn Hill she was just raw, man. She was just one of the baddest. With one album, man. One album. Just incredible. One album.
It's still known, yeah.
That one album set her apart.
Could do a concert right now and sell it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to one meeting
for the whole weekend. The problem is whether she show up or not.
Right, on time.
Yeah.
Even with watching.
All right. Well, I leave her on my list then, and my number one of all time, a woman that when I used to have to drive from Georgia to Virginia, I would always start off my trip in my cassette, because I had a cassette. You know what I mean?
Gotta be MC Light.
With MC Light. MC Light, my girl, man.
Had to listen to the whole thing.
Hey, I can still listen to it.
Couldn't skip to the next song.
Hey, could not skip, man. MC Light, wireless MC Light tonight. I listen to MC Light anytime, man. That was my girl, man.
I look at the award shows just to hear her talk.
Yeah, that voice, raspy.
Like real deal.
Yo, you just got bumped. Brat. Brat on. Number 3, girl.
That was
that damn funkified, boy. I hear funkified, man. I just get in a different mood.
There it is. All right, B. Martin, what you got, brother?
That's it. As always, listen, the time's coming up. Register to vote. Get out. Regardless of which side you're on, I would rather you have a say in what goes on. You know what I'm saying? The government should always represent the people. And whether we agree or disagree, the government ought to represent what we're doing. So if you want people to represent you, you got to get out and vote.
Give your website for your shirts again.
It's All the Love, ATL, All the Love Tees on Instagram or whatnot. Easy to find.
My bad. Ask a cop, what you got, bro?
Well, I'll piggyback on the vote. I just think Kemp has issues, but I think if Herschel Walker gets elected in Georgia, Georgia is taking a step back, because that means people got out just to make a Republican senator. If you vote, I mean, that's like voting for the village idiot.
Yes.
And knowing he's going, but the power he's going to wield. And if you think Roe versus Wade is bad, imagine when you get enough people in there with Herschel Walker's mindset. I mean, that's scary.
Yeah, and they don't have to. The stuff that the people don't know about the Roe, they haven't looked at the details, but the cases they're talking about that pertain to Roe versus Wade affect different types of marriage, you know, whether it be gay marriage, whether it be interracial marriage, contraception, all the stuff. So yeah, like it's not as far off as people think.
All right, my mom just chimed in. She got
your mom got a list.
Missy Elliott, yeah, how about that? Missy Elliott, Lizzo, Cardi B,
Lizzo.
Megan, Doja Cat.
Ooh.
Doja Cat.
That's my Doja Cat's my guilty pleasure. Boy, I love to watch her videos. I don't care what she's saying.
Your mom be chilling.
Number 1 said MC Light never been given her true respect. Facts.
Yep.
Big facts. Gino said Trina and Meg Thee Stallion turn me on when they rap. That why Ashley Cobb had a number 1. Jaron chimed in. He got Lauryn Hill, MC Light, Lady of Rage, Snow the Product. I'm not sure who Snow the Product is. Rod Digger and Missy Elliott. Who's Snow the Product?
Never heard of her.
Said, number 1 fan said Herschel Walker said if a man evolved from apes, why are they still apes?
Yeah.
Vote.
Yes.
You text me? Okay. All right, man. Like B. March said, just leave it on the table there. You know, gotta vote, man. Think globally, vote locally. That's the word that it be. There it is, man.
That's it.
Teasy, what you got, bro?
I was trying to look up Snow the Product. Couldn't find it.
I bet she white.
No. What makes you think that?
Yo, man, great show. Great show. Got to get some insight on hip hop from the other side. Appreciate Pastor Troy for taking time out to come through and parlay with us. Y'all know what it is. My play is coming back out September 25th. The movie is going to be out on September 18th. And actually, the cast wants to come up here for the show. I think we're looking at like August 9th or something like that. They're going to try and come up. So I'm going to get with them and find out for sure. Try and get them up here for a little while. Try and keep the cigar smoke out of their face for a little while. So we're going to try and do that. Yeah, I think that's going to do it, man. I'll leave you with my slogan: the biggest room in the world is a room for improvement. And we out. You dig?
Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.